Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Objective Perspective. I'm Chase.
I'm Joe.
And it's July 27th. It's been a little bit since we last recorded. I went on full-on vacation mode, which was I don't want to talk to anyone and just sit outside. And that's kind of what I did, and played a lot of video games, obviously, and we're back. We're going to do some recording.
You lived the dream.
I lived the dream for a bit there. I was at a lake, on a lake house. And I could sit outside at a lake and just go swimming for hours, and then go back inside and play video games, and no one would bother me.
That really is the dream. Shit.
Until a bunch of family came, then I was bothered.
Then it's the nightmare.
Then it's like a crazy mismatch of I want to hang out with these people, but not for as long as they want me to hang out with them for.
Yeah.
the good times. But let's talk about news. You have some stuff you want to talk about? I was pretty out of the loop, so I'm letting you take a hold of this one, like normal.
Yeah, there was a lot of news that happened. Obviously, it's been a while. I think it's been like a month, it feels like. But...
I think a month's probably the best estimate.
So today I just kind of sat down and just picked out very few news stories that I was like, these are Joe Lungi news stories that are relevant to me. Probably missed a lot of big stuff. We can just use some quickies here. We got Ni no Kuni 2 delayed into 2018.
It sucks that's not coming out this year, but kind of happy because we have time to play all the games coming out this year.
Yeah, it's funny you say it sucks because I'm actually, like, authentically happy about that delay. Like, that was already too crowded for me. I was not going to get to play all the games I wanted, let alone afford all of them. So,
Yeah.
like, for them to be like, let's take more time, finish the game, come out later when you will have time to play it, great for me. I'm excited about that.
Next year's already a crowded year, though. Like, in my head, like, the train's not stopping when next year hits, you know? Like, it's just going to keep going.
Well, what do we got? We got God of War. That's going to be spring, right?
God of War, Monster Hunter.
Where's Spider-Man?
Spider-Man's next year, too.
Okay.
I think
no,
early.
Like, no quarter? Is it early?
I think it's spring. I think it's spring. I'm not positive.
Is
I just know
Sea
that
of
I just
Thieves
know
this
games
year?
are not going to stop all of a sudden when it becomes next year. You know what I mean? Like, PS4's whole launch for E3 was next year's happening.
Yeah, and January, February's only been getting busier and busier, you know?
Yeah, so it's going to be big next year.
Is Sea of Thieves next?
Sea of Thieves is next year. Sea of Thieves next spring, yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
That's going to be a fun... I don't... My friend Mike in Xbox One, he has a PC, but his girlfriend also owns an Xbox One, and I might get that for Xbox One if I can play with those two, because they're the crew I like to play with. So if Sea of Thieves works out, Sea of Thieves would be a lot of fun. I think that game can only be played cooperatively. Like, if you don't have friends for that, that's going to be a garbage pile of a game.
That's why I kind of tuned out.
Yeah, and I love multiplayer games. I mean, my game of the year right now is the only multiplayer game, so...
And early access.
It says it's supposed to come out at the end of this year. But multiplayer games almost don't matter to me if they're early access, because like they're always going to be iterated on until the player base completely dies off. You know, like if it's just multiplayer,
Exactly.
they're just going to keep putting it out. But
you know what?
Moving on.
You know what? We're gonna actually. I got an idea because there is actually a story we could talk about.
Okay.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is selling like crazy.
Yeah.
They passed, I think it was 5 million on Steam.
Jesus.
So yeah, that's a news story. That's a Chase Weaver news story. So let's give you some love.
That's big sales, and it's coming to Xbox One or when it's in early access, and no doubt it's going to come to the PS4 when it's fully out. So that game's going to keep getting bigger, and I think that game can lend itself easily to consoles.
And there's talk of like this esports thing. There's like a big tournament coming up, I think.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. They've been fleshing out the spectator mode for a while, and it looks really good coming along. So I could see it. That'd be just a wild esports because it's 100 people in one match.
I think I read that it passed like GTA 5 and concurrent players on
That's
Steam,
great.
which is like insane. Like that game is seeing success like few games.
This is hitting like that
see.
level of success that very few games can enter into, and
It's
like have the fan base for.
It's achieved meme status. They did it.
I know. Oh no. There's also the other one. This is the news part that give me. They banned a player, like a prominent streamer, which was people somehow got up in arms about, or like I don't know if anyone got actually up in arms about. They banned a noticeable player.
Don't tell me why. Was it just toxicity?
He shot a teammate.
What?
If you shoot a teammate maliciously in the game, you can get banned.
Seriously, wow.
Yeah, because like that's shitty and it ruins other people's experience. And then the thing that spiraled out that this guy plays an asshole character like on stream on Twitch. He's like just kind of an asshole. That's the whole character, I guess. I don't know. I don't really get it. But like he's like, I'm just a big asshole, and like then he shot his teammate because like they didn't have enough seats in the car in Players Zone Battleground, and then like that killed him. And I'm like, that's yeah, okay, he can get banned for that, I guess. And then he talked about. Then he's like, I'm gonna drop kick. He was like talking to the creator, because the creator was talking to him. I guess it's some already friendly conversation before. And the guy's like, I'm just gonna drop kick you, player unknown, blah blah blah. And player unknown was like, I don't really like threats of violence, even if they're a joke. And like had his whole life experience that he told about, and was like, yeah, you're banned, but you know the ban's always temporary, so whatever. And people got like confused by that or something. I don't know. It was weird. I honestly don't have the story up in my head too much anymore. I can go look for it.
Weird.
But
Okay.
I kind of liked it, him just being like, you know, like I don't like this, and here's why. And I was like, yeah, all right, cool. Like move on.
How much money do you think PlayerUnknown has made?
Like a shit ton. Like he's probably gonna enter like the amount of money where you go, what the fuck do I do with all this money part.
Reach the Notch status?
I think it's
Probably
hard
not
to
as much
reach
as
Notch
Notch.
status,
Yeah.
because like you actually have to be like a horrible person and also like do that. You have to like own a bunch of candy and then have no one come over to eat it, and so it rots, which is like my favorite Notch story so far.
Well, like
he's
he threw the party or whatever.
No, he had so much money that he like made like a candy dispenser, right? And so he like filled his like stuff with candy, but he had no one to eat him, and so it all rotted.
It
and,
sounds like a fable or something, doesn't
I
it?
know, right? That dude is like actually crazy and like needs to like do something other than yell at people on Twitter, which is like the weirdest shit about it. It's like he just gets mad on Twitter, and I'm like, homie, log off.
Doesn't he donate like $1 million every year at like
At
Summer
the
Games Done Quick?
AGDQ, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of
yeah.
them.
He did. It happened this year, and everyone like went really quiet, kind of, and was like, oh, okay. Like
Oh, weird.
he's not hitting. He's hitting the level of like kind of. Not kind of. He's just being an asshole all the time. That like people are starting to just not like Notch now.
What a wild ride.
Yeah, Minecraft. What a wild ride.
Let's jump into the next one then. Let's talk about the Nintendo Switch.
Hell yeah. Let's get switchy with it.
So, the Nintendo Switch has sold 4.7 million units in its first 3 months on the market.
That's really incredible. That's like a excellent. I mean, it's not the best. I think literally every other console that's this year has been doing better, but it's still doing better than Nintendo has been doing on the previous console. So,
as in PS4 and Xbox One.
PS4 and Xbox, yeah, consoles that the big three: Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. That's so.
Wii U is not outselling the Switch.
No, the Wii U did not outsell anything. It actually undersold everything. So, you know, Wii U's still killing it, boys. Watch out, here it comes.
But good job, Nintendo. I think this is really exciting news. It's like this console's taking off, and I think that's exciting for everybody.
Yeah, just hope some good stuff comes out for it eventually.
Especially since people were saying like estimated to sell 5 million in the year, so for it to sell that in a quarter of that time is just a really positive outlook. And I guess technically I'm one of those people because I ordered one a week ago.
Nice.
I
How come
think
you broke down?
We're gonna do it. It's supposed to come tomorrow, I think. And I broke down. I was at the Retro Game Store. I was chatting up the dude, and I'm like, yeah, I just don't know when I want to get it because they didn't have it in stock. Of course not. They said the fastest or the longest they've had one in stock was 6 seconds.
Damn.
That's what the guy told me. So he's like, if you wait long enough, then like it'll be the winter rush, it'll be like Christmas time, and you just won't be able to get one. And then you'll miss out on Mario. And I'm like, well, I don't want that to happen. And with the way that the school year is gonna go, I figure the best time to play Zelda is still the summer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like get it now, play Zelda now, get it out of the way so I don't have to worry about it during the school year or anything, and then I don't have to catch up on like 3 major Switch games that are all going to take hundreds and hundreds of hours to play in the wintertime. It's kind of my thought process.
Is your school year looking crazy?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, okay, all
A
right.
little bit.
Oh, okay. Like a lot of classes, there's a lot of shit going on.
All of the above.
Okay. Oh, that sounds like a awful time. I hope.
No, it's an exciting way though. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to it.
Alrighty,
It's just
gotcha.
busy and exciting.
Gotcha. Busy and exciting, not just busy and dreadful in a way.
Yeah, totally.
I'm also have like realized I've gotten a busier schedule than I anticipated before. So things are gonna be crazy this school year for I think both of us.
We'll have to find a way to make this work.
And this I think this is easy. The thing is like this, I need to get better at audio editing, so I might fuck around with it more than normal when I take it back home to edit with it, maybe get some more programs. But this, like the podcast, is pretty easy. You just need to carve out like a time, and then we just reserve its place. And it's usually we've worked it out pretty easy last semester. I think we can do it this semester.
That's true. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, just
And then, oh, sorry.
no, I'm very
Transitions.
good. Go ahead.
On topic with Nintendo, we can talk about the SNES Mini.
Oh yeah, canceled.
So
Pre-orders.
Walmart posted up pre-orders about a week ago, I believe, and this was way earlier. They were the only outlet in America to do so. They went up live in UK a little while ago, but in America they still haven't gone live until Walmart posted them. So like Target, GameStop, Best Buy, none of them went live except for Walmart, and it was just a crazy shit show as you would have expected. And basically, all the other outlets went crying to Nintendo probably and being like, "Hey, what the fuck?" So then Nintendo went to Walmart. Walmart had to pony up and be like, well, we got to cancel all these pre-orders now because I guess they didn't have accurate stock representations from Nintendo. It sounded like it wasn't an intentional thing for Walmart to post them early. It was just probably a mistake. I don't know how you make a mistake that big, though, but, like, obviously nothing, like, intentional going on.
I asked that a lot about corporations of how do you fuck up this much, and then like the answer is always I don't know, but we just do constantly. So
well, it's not like a button you push like they go live, right? Like there's got to be some kind of check and balance in place, but I guess not.
Maybe
I
I have no idea how Walmart like if anyone wants to email in, send a comment in the comment section. Let us know.
Yes, please, especially if you work for Walmart.
Yeah, if you work for Nintendo, actually, please let us know how this all went down.
But I just thought it was a really funny story that there was this huge mad rush for them, and now it was just all for nothing. Just all canceled. Slate wiped clean.
I'm just gonna stick to doing the illegal stuff, you know? Like, if I need those games, I'll just do it illegally, you know?
Raspberry Pi'd up.
Yeah, hell yeah. Because, like, that's, like, I don't want to pay that much money for, like, a piece of junk I'll play once.
Well, the sad thing is, like, I'd probably buy them if they were, like, readily available. Like, I'd drop $80 on this thing just for the fun collector's aspect of it, but when it gets to the point where it's scalpers and you just can't get one and they're so rare, like, I don't care that much. Like, if it was something easily...
Switch style.
It's like, Nintendo loves making these things so rare and that, like, is supposed to increase interest, but if it was something I could just casually walk into a store and pick up and mess around with for, like, low stakes, I'd buy one, you know?
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna play Nintendo's games. Like, I don't care that much.
I don't know if I would still walk into a store and buy them just because I just don't think it's worth the price of admission, but you know.
It's probably not. But just something fun, the novelty of plugging it into your HD TV.
I mean, I don't even turn on my Wii to play Mario Galaxy still.
Oh, we'll get into that because I certainly do.
I just put it on my computer and put it in HD and it just looks better. So I'm like, dope, cool, and then like that's how I play Mario still because. Man, that game looks great in HD. Like, holy shit.
I hope we get, like, some kind of HD remake of that game. Damn.
Or you can just play it on the computer. Not have to waggle the Wii remote.
I like the waggling Galaxy. I like it.
I'm the dude who's like, I can just press Y and, like, do it. Dope. Like, I'm just playing it. That's it.
It's probably better.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like something... Almost like the motion controls held back that console in some areas. I'm not going to say they did. I'm just going to say, for platformers, I like just having the buttons and not having to do dumb shit.
Different strokes, you know?
I don't like Skyward Sword. So let's... I mean, no one likes Skyward Sword, to be honest.
There's people who have it as their favorite.
That's wild.
It's alright. There's good things about Skyward Sword.
There's not. I mean, yes, there is. Like, I think that game actually...
There's nothing!
That game has probably one of my favorite Zelda art styles, actually, if I had to... be honest.
I don't like the art style.
I like the impressionist painting style a lot, so
I like Groose.
Groose is good. Backtracking's bad.
Nah.
Oh no, homie. I'm going back to the same areas.
Let's not get into it.
Okay, and anything else?
That pirate ship's a good dungeon. That boss is bad.
You're correct.
Okay.
That boss fight with Medusa's bad. There we go. Second. Oh shit! Here he comes back out.
Okay. There was a Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer that was a big deal for me.
I saw it too. I watched it.
Dog, that game looks beautiful. Unreal 4 is blowing my mind.
Yeah, I think that game looks great. It looks way more interesting than the first game that I played.
Dude, what's crazy is, like, think about this. There are literal Pixar animators working on this game.
Yeah. Wait, are there actual Pixar animators working on this?
Yes, like I
Oh.
watched that entire live stream, and like they came out afterwards, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I love Kingdom Hearts." She's like literally an animator. She's like, "I worked on Toy Story 2, so this is like such an honor. I designed like the redesigns for Sora and all them. Like,
That's
what
pretty
a
cool.
cool thing, right?
Yeah, it's almost
What a great
yeah.
way to like leverage those resources."
And then I looked at the game that was happening, and I'm like, oh man, the level for this looks fun and interesting. Oh, Kingdom Hearts, why were you bad level? So I hope
Okay.
that game's good. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I do too, because there's a lot of things in that trailer I actually did have problems with, and I'm a little concerned about. But
Yeah,
cautiously optimistic.
I hope every game turns out good, even if I already don't like them.
I will say, I would bet it's not coming out 2018.
Yeah, they're like 2018, not, and I literally out loud said, "Yeah, all right." Like, no.
I don't want to be like a negative Nancy and like blah blah blah. So, I'm not saying Nomura's lying or anything. I just, from what I can see from that game and what I know about that series,
Didn't he
it
say
doesn't look
something?
like it needs a year.
Didn't he say something about like Unreal 4 holding him back or something like that?
They had to switch engines mid-development.
Which is like, I understand. He's like, Unreal 4 held me back. I'm like, I understand, dog, but also like all of the games you make take forever to come out. So like that might be like, I'm not saying you're lying, but you're probably lying.
Dude, I need to see like a documentary about like that era from like 2007 to 2017 with like Nomura.
Yeah,
And
because,
like all those projects with like 15, like I would watch that. That sounds amazing, doesn't it? Like just learning what the fuck happened.
yeah, I'm thinking of just reading a plot summary of what's it called? What's the game? The second Kingdom Hearts game, not Kingdom Hearts 2, but Chain of
Chain of
Memories.
Memories.
I might not play that because like my friend was like showing me what that game was, and I was like, this seems all right, but also like a game I never want to play in my lifetime. And I might just jump to Kingdom Hearts 2 if I want to if I take that plunge and see if it's fun.
So there's actually a really cool thing about skipping Chain of Memories that I really like, where I say like you don't have to play it even though I really like it. Like narrative wise, it just kind of takes away dramatic irony from the player, and you're just directly in Sora's shoes, whereas you don't know things that Sora doesn't know.
Okay.
So like it's totally cool. You get like a slightly different experience, and I think it's kind of okay.
All right. Oh, I might give it a swirl. I beat Kingdom Hearts, and we'll get into it. We'll get into it. What's your snooze story? Is that
That's it. That's all the news stories I
Let's
wrote
get
down.
into it. Let's get into Kingdom Hearts.
You want to talk about Kingdom Hearts 1?
Oh yeah, I just want to get out. It's fresh in my mind that we're thinking about it. I beat Kingdom Hearts 1. I beat it, and I didn't like it. Like
so what's great is I also just played through it. So we can
I
actually
saw
talk
you
about
playing
this super
1.5,
fresh.
2.5 Plus Edition.
Yep.
And I beat Kingdom Hearts 1, and I didn't like that game at all, really.
At all, wow.
Yeah, like there's a lot of parts like where I think it fails like for what I like in games a lot. Like I'm not a huge Disney fan as it is. Like it just wasn't my childhood. Like Disney wasn't a part of my childhood. It was like adjacent to me a lot, but I was off doing different things and like watching Disney. Like a lot of my early childhood was watching like being shown really scary horror films. So like if a game was like we're gonna do every horror film, like then I'd have a lot of nostalgia for it. Because like I had my fake older sister who's actually just my babysitter, but she's been a part of my family since I was like 2 weeks old. So I've just known her since I was 2 weeks old. Would come over and like watch Friday the 13th as I was like 2 years old. Like that was like. And she'd just sit, and I'd watch that with her. Like, as I grew up, my dad would show me scarier and progressively scarier films that were actually really good. Because my dad, I think, likes psychologically torturing me for some reason.
Yeah, this sounds like a nightmare.
It's horrible. But then, like, I don't know, I turned out mediocrely, so, you know, so can you.
There's hope for anyone.
That's what I watched. And, so, like, Disney doesn't have, like, that love in my heart. Like, my favorite Disney films are the ones that, like, look really good and look really interesting and do interesting stuff, but weren't necessarily good films. Like Tarzan is like that.
Like Toy Story.
I think Toy Story is actually like across the board. Everyone loves Toy Story.
Oh yeah, I mean like that art style is like iconic.
Yeah, no, but I mean like I like Tarzan because it feels so different than what Disney was at the time and what they were trying to do. But it's not a really good film. You know what I mean? Like I don't think Tarzan's not a good movie that much. It's actually kind of bad, but I really like how it looks and what it tried to do. I appreciate it. Unlike Pocahontas, what I think looks really nice, but has such a bad story, it actively turns me off of that film. And I don't like Nightmare Before Christmas. I like Aladdin only for Robin Williams, and that's why anyone should like that film. Past that point, it's just whatever.
Oh, really? That's like one of the most popular ones, I feel.
Yeah,
like
I only like it for Robin Williams because Robin Williams is a national treasure, and like that's it. And then like after that, like Aladdin, the rest of Aladdin is like boring story to me. And then like I never liked The Little Mermaid. That movie never got to me in any way. I don't like Nightmare Before Christmas. Beauty and the Beast has been a film I've seen like 100 times, but I've never once been like, man, Beauty and the Beast is pretty good.
Yeah, but man, the things they do with the Beast.
Yeah, Beast in the game is great. He's like the best character you get in the game. He's
so good.
He's the only good character you get in the game.
What? How can you say that?
Look, Donald can cast spells, but like runs out of MP 3 seconds flat, and then just runs
Donald
around and dies.
heals you.
I want to be straight up honest with you. They all die in 3 seconds, and it's the funniest fucking thing to me every time it happens because
they're
get
gonna
into
be
a fight and they die. Beast gets into a fight and wins the fight, and I'm like, well, he's the only good character, as in like he's the only one who's good in gameplay. I think Donald and Goofy are done well. I still think the comedy timing's weird. I don't think it's quite as snappy as Disney is. You know what I mean? Where like there's like a joke and then there's a fade out where like the joke should be there's a joke cut gameplay. Like it shouldn't be like as slow as like letting you laugh when I'm not laughing, and I'm like, yeah, it was all right, and like it just sits there for a bit and then you're in the game and I'm like, okay, and then we're just talking. I think it should be a little snappier, but like maybe that gets fixed as it goes on, but like comedy snaps. You gotta jump. That's how I believe comedy is, at least. That's the comedy I like, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like a lot of the levels.
Yeah, so let's talk about the level design.
We have Hollow Bastion, which is a lot of backtracky, but at least at the beginning you kind of go to a bunch of different areas at first, so I kind of liked Traverse Town, not Hollow Bastion. Blech. And there's Tarzan, which is legit a bad level. Like,
I think Tarzan's the weakest level in terms of level design.
Yeah, I think it's the weakest and it's bad. Like, those are the two things. Like, it's weak and it's not fun. Like, it's super backtracky. It's really boring. It doesn't have any of the fun parts of Tarzan I like that are in Tarzan. So it's just whatever. And then you have Colosseum, which is a square. And then
it's the arena.
It's the arena.
They could have done a lot more with it, but they settled with just making
it. It's the most boring part of Hercules, baby. That's all we're doing. And I'm like, hell yeah, buddy. That's awful. And then I continued on.
Let's stop there. So you say that, but you have to think about this idea of mashing up these properties and leveraging them to their full effect. So while it is boring that they only did that with Hercules, in this game, I think that's still really cool that they look at that property and say, oh, let's make this the arena, because in JRPGs that's like a thing. What a cool idea. What a cool way to implement that world, I think.
I think it's not a cool way to implement that world. I think it's a very boring way to implement that world. Like,
I think Hercules, on its own it is.
Yeah, and like there's like a lot of cool places in the Hercules mythos that like even in the movies it has. Actually, Hercules is great because there's James Woods. That's the best part about that zone, by the way. Every part that's like the American voice actors being able to do like the characters they've done before is the best part of that game, I think, hands down.
I finished the Hercules World in 2 today, and I was just appreciating James Woods.
James Woods
Hades is still so good.
It is like the most like best acting choices like someone's ever like. It's such a good casting opinion. But like the world, like there's like an underworld. There's the trials Hercules went on. You could have like been like, oh, instead of doing an arena, you consecutively do the trials with Hercules. They have weird, interesting challenges that go with them. Like there could have been something more than just. It's this weird title, and then you fight 5 green wizards, and a big fat man. And you're like, all right, here we go. Like, there could have been something there more than like, and also like fighting the Hydra was like a huge thing in Hercules. Like that's one of the few things I remember from those films is like James Wood and the Hydra, and I'm like, that shit was really cool. But like that's not in this thing. Like the things I pull from Disney in my head aren't in this game, and that's probably like too harsh on it because it's a PS2 game. It can't make Disney like Disney does because it's really hard, but like it doesn't even the Hercules doesn't feel like it even tries to draw from like all the cool shit in Hercules to me.
I can't wait till you play 2.
Yeah, I hopefully they like put some different instead of just like I'd be fine with there being a Coliseum and a level with it, like instead I don't want
to give away stuff. But
That's fine.
there's-
That's all I need. Like, give me something. And then what's next? I think I did probably Nightmare. I did probably Atlantis, which is just a drag.
Well, we skipped Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, Alice in Wonderland, which is fine. It's really boring to me, like blasé as a level. Just like
So you keep saying that they're like boring, and I'm so confused because
But, like,
I think these are like really colorful worlds with a lot of really interesting level design.
But like the thing is, like I don't find the interesting level design because it's like, it's just they're like it's very obvious to everything you need to do right away. It's like, okay, like I take the potion to get big, got it, and then it's like, all right, I move the bed, exit, take potion. I'm now smaller, run out, and it's like you gotta find the evidence, and I'm like, got it, I'm gonna go hop around, look for some evidence. It wasn't like it didn't grab me in any way of like Alice in Wonderland grabbed me. Also, the Cheshire Cat's done very poorly, as in he just gives you like obvious clues where Cheshire Cat usually gives you way more ambivalence or like not exactly this straightforward of an answer. Like they try to like paint it as not straightforward, but it's very straightforward. And you move on, and like I think that level's fine. It just doesn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I throw the potion at the flower, and he's like, "All right, cool, you're a big boy now. Here's your nut." And I'm like, "God, thanks for the nut."
The coolest stuff there is definitely the optional side stuff when you come back later.
I can't. Oh, I can't. That's bad. Why would you
Why?
do that? Why would you?
What do you mean?
Why would you hold off the good stuff for like the player start? Like it should be good,
Well,
and then it should be
no.
better.
I'm not saying that this. I think this stuff to begin with is good. I think that there's just more of it when you go back and re-explore, and I think that's good. That's good incentive to come back. Like there's an
came
entire
back and,
hidden
like,
keyblade there that like you can totally miss.
I went back and still missed that Keyblade apparently, but then again I went back just to do some like off grinding and grab stuff because I was not high enough level to beat the final boss when I got there. But we'll get there to the final boss, which I don't enjoy, but we'll get there.
Let's just jump to Hollow Bastion actually.
Hollow Bastion is the first good start to a level, and then it completely betrays itself, which was really sad.
So how did it
because-
betray itself?
Because you go through the whole level, you get to the top, and I'm like, fuck yeah, man, and then you have to go do it again, and I'm like, why would you do this to me?
Oh, okay.
After I was like, oh, it's a game where I'm playing a level. I'm not playing go to block left and then go back to block right and then go back to block left and then go back south then north, and you're like, all right, I'm just going in circles pretty much. This was like an actual progression of like I'm slowly moving forward. I didn't like that you could, when you're jumping and you had to attack flying enemies, you could fall off the edge. That just seems like a little annoying, but it's just annoying, and I kind of
It was a little harsh for sure.
Yeah, it's like all right, we're going to throw flying enemies at you, so you just stand backwards and wait for them to get close to you. So you're just kind of standing there, being like, all right, and I'm not a magic user, so I'm just gonna stand here, and then wait for him to fucking hit me. And then he comes, I block it, and I punch him a few times, and he flies a little bit off, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna wait for you to come back now because I don't want to fall off again and redo this all over again. So that can be a little annoying, but like I like getting there. It was just doing it all over. I don't like repeating the same thing with what feels like no change. That's really annoying, and I think it's really bad if you're like, all right, actually now just do it again, and you're like, okay, I guess we're doing it again. Like I like turning into the Heartless there, but that was like whatever to me. Like that whole story already didn't interest me one bit the whole time. It was a really boring story to me. It just was nothing. I had no interest in any of the characters whatsoever. It was just bleh. And then Ansem came up and lightened the mood for an hour, and then the game ended, and that was about it.
I love Ansem.
Ansem's the only part of that game of a character I was like, you know what, you're doing this is all right. It's like I was getting but man, even he gets like on my nerves of just being talking about heartless and darkness and light and heart, and I'm just like, God, just say something that means something instead of just saying the darkness. And I'm like, what does that mean? All right, sure, whatever. And then
No, that's all Ansem does.
yeah, and then he becomes a big ship, and I'm like, what is
He
this
becomes a
fucking
big battleship.
game? Yeah. And then
Big
like
flesh battleship.
I really wanted like the Disney. There's like a couple Disney films are like Fantasia is one of them, and I wanted something from Fantasia, and what I got from Fantasia made me really sad. Awesome.
You fight Chernobog.
Yeah, and that was an awful fight, and like the end.
I think it's a cool moment. In retrospect, it is just kind of a weak. Oh, it's a weak fight. It is.
Yeah, it's a weak. I think all the big creatures are really weak fights.
Yes. I feel the same way, actually.
They're like incredibly weak.
All the spectacle fights, except maybe Cerberus, I do like.
Yeah, Cerberus is alright. I mean, I didn't like it, but like I didn't like do it correctly, so I can like see myself just fucking up and being like, yeah, that could have been easier. But like I thought most of the fighting in that game wasn't good anyways, just in general. I think when it got to one-on-one fights, it got a little better, but like when you're not just a group of enemies, the camera can go a bit crazy and just swing around a lot on me. Even if I locked on, I'm just like slam into a wall and get stuck there, and I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? I'm just tapping X because that game doesn't have like a very good amount of strategy with it, so you're just slamming the X button, tapping X as your thumb starts to hurt because you're trying to power through the game, and you're like, fuck me, this is actually like annoying me now. And you're fighting the dumb sword dudes who hit their ground with the sword.
The Invisibles.
And then like they hit the ground with the sword, and you're like going to hit him, and he's like, actually, I'm invincible right now, friend. And I'm like, this is the dumbest shit. And then you're fighting bombs, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm okay with fighting bombs, even though they suck. And like, I feel like the enemies never, like, the challenges wasn't there for like the combat it was given me, where I was like, I can block, hit, and like counter hit. Those were like my three options, and then heal. And that game just became hit, get smacked, heal, hit, get smacked, heal. And like that was it. Mm-hmm. That's all the game became to then. And then maybe cast arrow, and then like call it a day. Or Aurora, or whatever I had. I don't even remember. And then, like, that's all the game was at the end. Like, I didn't have... My strategy never changed besides being like, I'm fighting Ansem, he's running at me. Press square, and he goes, ah! And he's like, countered him. Tech Points. Tech Points is a good name.
Tech Points.
Yeah, and, like, it just got monotonous. It got very monotonous very quickly. I didn't have the attachment to Disney that this game runs on. It runs nostalgically on Disney, and if you don't have that attachment, I feel like it somewhat fails for you in that area, because like it doesn't offer anything better than Disney already does. It offers a worse version of Disney, which...
So that's where I disagree. I actually don't think this game runs on Disney. I actually think the game runs on what it's doing with the Disney property, but what it's providing itself. I think that core thing of the darkness with Ansem and Sora, Riku, and Kairi is kind of what drives it for me and for a lot of people. Disney is a driving factor for a lot of people too, but I think this notion that you go for the Disney is like a myth. At least
no, I meant like I don't think maybe you go like for now, but like in this game, a bunch of those worlds are just a rehash of the Disney story. Like that's all those worlds were. It was just go here, help Jack Skellington fight Oogie Boogie. Go here, help Ariel fight Ursula. Go to Tarzan, help him fight Clayton. Go to Alice in Wonderland, fight the Queen. Like, the Heartless is there, like, behind the scenes, but it is just like a do the stories that are already in these worlds, just with that actually was the Heartless who were the bad guys all along, not these characters' misgivings about their lives. And you're like, okay, got it. And like there's like a little bit there, but like it was just like do a Disney rehash story but with Heartless and you in it. It's like doing your own fanfic, and like I don't think it's very good fanfic.
Okay.
And like the fanfic is like Darkness are in here too now. I'm like, all right, cool, but like you're not doing it as good as Disney had already done it. Like I don't think you're doing the story beats as well, and I don't think everything else is up to snuff as Disney already, so it doesn't like pull me in any way there. I just get kind of bored, like, consistently by those levels. I already don't like the stories of those worlds that much. So I was just like, whatever. And then we got to the end of the world, which was walk in a straight line, get hit by... walk in an invisible straight line, get hit by random encounters, and fight the behemoths 3 times, and then fight the final boss. Those behemoth fights are bad. I'm just, like... It's a bad idea.
They go down pretty fast, but
they go down. But like, it's the thing we had. I think it's the discussion we had with Mementos, where I was like, if something drags your game down, you don't want it. Like if they took those out of the game, the behemoth fights out of the game, except for maybe the one, I've been like, that's better. It's a better game.
I just don't know. It might be.
It might be. And then I fought Ansem, and there's like some parts of the fight I liked, and some parts of the fight I thought were really not much fun. So if he hits you with whatever, where he puts his stand on you, which I'm just gonna call it a stand because it's so obviously a stand.
It's the Guardian.
It's the Guardian, yeah, Guardian.
I love the Guardian.
Does he yell Guardian to me? Is that like his thing? When
yes.
Come Guardian. Yeah, come Guardian. Thank you. Sounds even better when we say it.
It's so good.
When he hits you with that and the Guardian gets onto you, is there a way to get that off, or you should just roll around and like press the freeze button so you don't get like randomly hit by nothing?
Yeah, the point is you can see when he wants it up, you just don't want to get hit by it. Or even
Okay.
better, you can have like Goofy tank it, and then you're just free to beat on his ass.
Well, at one point you were by yourself. That's the one I had trouble with it when I was like,
That's the fun phase.
yeah, that's the phase where I got hit 2 times and died because I was not leveled up enough.
Oh, I see.
And I left and was like, I'm gonna do the old levels again and get some more keyblades and see what happens. And then I got some more keyblades and fucked them up. So I got the Rose one or whatever.
Oh, use the Rumblin' Rose.
Yeah,
Did you ever get Oblivion?
I never got Oblivion. Wait, no, what's
Okay.
It's Oblivion's the black one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's worse than the Divine Rose. So I just switched it out.
Okay.
I got the one. Just like I was like, okay, I don't have all the spells yet. Where do I need to go to get the spells? I'm like, I'm just gonna look it up because I don't care. And it was like, go back through Hall of Bastion. And I was like, oh, well played, game. Well played again. Backtracking, and I talked to Aerith 3 times. She's like, here's Karaga. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I went to the Peter Pan. There's Aurora, and then called it a day. And I whooped Ansem's ass.
So I wonder if a reason that I'm more okay with the backtracking is I love the movement. I love the fluidity of, and it plays into the combat too, just how in control I feel. Like, you talk about how you think it's a little floaty, right?
I think that the platforming's floaty. I think the combat's tight. I think it's
Okay.
good combat. I think the platforming's really floaty because it is.
Yeah, I can see that. But once you get abilities like the dodge roll feels great, the gliding feels good. I think traversing through those worlds is so much fun that I think I don't mind a lot of the backtracking.
I think it's the backtracking gets better because they make sure that you can do the platforming without really needing to platform. Is like that's yeah, I agree that they cut out the part of the platforming that isn't fun, which is the actual platform, but being able to just jump in the air really high and then glide, which you just don't ever really sink in. And you just traverse all those platforms. I'm like, oh hell yeah, this is way better. I hate jumping on all these platforms, and I just zoom past it. I was like, hell yeah, that's the good shit.
I don't know, because I think back to like Monstro. I think platforming there is like really fun.
I like Monstro, and then I tried to swing for a wizard, and I fell off the edge. And I was like, this fucking game is like my actual. I haven't been so mad at a video game as I was mad at this game through multiple times in like
Okay.
a long time, where I was just like, this fucking game, where I was like, I like swung up and I literally was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna fall, and I'm like, I forgot, didn't put like an invisible wall here, and like swung up and smacked, and I was like, I'm dead, that's it, I'm going down, and I'm just gonna turn this fucking game off, I think. And I'd power through it and just get farther and farther, and then I eventually made it to the very end, and I realized I couldn't beat Ansem's. He hit me twice, and I literally died. So he'd do the fucking like, I'm gonna do my turbo shield move where I just jump like, dash around and hit you.
Yeah.
And I got hit by that twice and just died. So I couldn't. My character wouldn't turn fast enough to do the block. Like the sword doesn't turn quick enough to do the block. Where like I'm locked on, so I think he'll instantly turn, and he doesn't. So I'm dying. I'm like, fuck this. I'm just gonna go level up a few times, and then I beat him. And fighting your big shadow man again is bad. He should not ever show up again past the first part.
I don't think so. I
big
think it's like a
shadow-
nice way to have him come back at the end.
I beat him in like one loop because he's like I'm gonna punch the ground. I'm like, just beat his hand up, and then he's like, I'm lifting my hand up. I just keep punching the hand. And he's like, I'm gonna do the part where I shoot orbs out of my chest, and he just dies. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I don't
on.
think it's supposed to be a challenge. I think it's supposed to be just like, look how far you've come.
But then, like, why? I mean, if they should do that, he should just appear. I should smack him once, and he'd be like, "I'm dead because you've gained so much power and you're not level
But that's
2."
basically what you do.
Yeah, and it's not like it's boring. Like, I don't like if it's just show you how you come, they don't raise it up to be as show how far you've come. It was there to be like, I think, to be like an actual legitimate challenge, to be like, all right, here's another boss, man. You're going back in. This is the real big boy. And I'm like, all right, let's fight the real big boy. And then I beat him, and he's like, all right, now it's me, Ansem. Come Guardian. And I'm like, all right.
Guardian.
I got him in a loop where he couldn't do a move until like he could do the special, like his special, like create gravity, like shoot himself everywhere or whatever move.
I love that move.
Yeah.
You're flying around.
Fighting Riku was like good, but I don't think the camera couldn't stay on him well enough. I realized, like, he moved too quick for the camera a lot, so like I would be like, I couldn't actually see where he was, and I was locked on, and I was like, oh fuck, what the fuck's happening? And then like he just disappear, and that was really weird. I just wish like that game was tighter all around. Like, it feels like they're just like they had like some ideas, and then they didn't hire anyone else to get the rest of the game finished. And then I beat a giant battleship up. And then he goes, the door is darkness. And
The true darkness.
and then it's light, and then there's actual darkness behind it. And I was like, what? And the game ended.
And then Riku stabs Maleficent.
That part's pretty good. That part's like
It's
really
so good, dude.
That's the only like part where I was like, I actively smiled and said, all right, this is okay. Like I'm enjoying where. Why wasn't Ansem? I feel like they almost take Ansem a little too seriously in a Disney game. Where I'm like, let him just be like a lot more hammy and a lot more just like wildly funny, because like that's what I'm here for. Like I enjoy the Donald and Goofy bits. I don't enjoy when they're like, let's talk about the heartless and the darkness and the blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, you're getting I'm like, all right, like, oh, here we go, the shadows of your heart.
There's a lot more of that to go. I'm warning you.
Everyone's told me that it just gets a lot more like that, and I said, that's unappealing.
Okay. I love that stuff.
Because it's super nonsensical and not in a way that I enjoy.
Okay. I'm sad you found so much of it to be so unappealing, Chase.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That's sad.
I wish it was better too. That is where I'll sit on that, where I'm like, man, I wish that game was good too, Joe. And then I'm like, I'll play Rechained Memories, and I saw the level design for that game and said, oh no, oh no, and decided maybe I won't. Maybe I'll keep playing the games I've been playing. But besides that, what have you been playing?
Well, aside from Kingdom Hearts, I finished. All right, let's do Yakuza 0. Let's just do it.
Let's get to Yakuza 0. Like, as a game that we both came out loving. So you love that. You like that game too, right? You came out of that game loving it?
I like that game a lot. I think that's my current game of the year.
Okay, so
I think.
Is love too strong of a word that I'm saying?
It's hard because, like, I think that game has a lot of problems, but it's like I don't care about the problems.
Okay, so this you've officially become a Yakuza fan, because that's every Yakuza fan's consensus is these games have a lot of problems, but holy shit, I love them so much. It's like that's how everyone feels about these Yakuza games. Like, I was playing going, this needs to be fixed, this is bad, but I'm always like, yeah, but this is great though. Like, this is all so much fun.
Like, there are some really tedious moments.
Yes.
And like but just like when it is shining, it just shines so bright, you know?
You're also
like
pulling out a fucking pistol and shooting a helicopter in slow motion while missiles are shooting out of the sky.
And like, maybe I'm more forgiving of this game because it does so much stuff that I'm like so into. Like, I don't know why I'm more forgiving of this than maybe of a different game, but there's just so much that I love about it. And like,
I think you can forgive it because there's so much you like about it.
Yeah, I think it might not even be any more complicated than that, actually. Like, I love Kazuma and I love Majima. Like, that ending, like, I felt something, man.
Okay, so I was playing that game, and I was like, finally, they're giving Goro, like, the good shit, like, the good treatment he always deserves. He's a great character. And that ending, I was like, oh, this is so good. It's so clean.
I think I like Majima more than Kazuma at this point, just because of that ending.
I've always loved Majima Goro a little more than Kazuma Kiryu.
Just like,
because how couldn't you?
That scene where like the Yakuza dudes like trying to like, what's the girl's name? What's the blind girl's name?
Makoto. Oh wait, the blonde girl?
It is
blind.
Makoto.
Oh, blind. I said blonde, and I was like, I'm lost. Blind is Makoto. Yes.
Just their relationship is so good.
Yeah, like, and I think it's like done actually really well, and not like where it's just done well. It's just done very well and very understatedly nice. Oh, it's so good.
Well, because you see them throughout the entire game and how they grow. Because you start out like he's hired to kill her, and him growing to care for her, and then when she goes off on this crazy suicide mission, you're like, "What are you doing? Like, you're insane!" And then she ends up in the hospital, and he's just like crying in front of the doors, like it's.
And then the boss man being like, I orchestrated the whole thing, and it's like so good. It's so opera.
And he has to just like suck it all up and like go along with it.
It's good.
Oh, and then at the end, and he buries the watch.
Yeah,
my god,
he's a good man.
And the way he just like walks off, and because he's talking to the doctor, who he's like, the doctor's into Makoto, and he's like, "Do you love her?" And he's like,
the whole
telling him to hurry up.
Like, he does like a whole Big Brother thing. It's very cute.
That stuff always gets me. Oh my god.
And like I think it's so good seeing like a lot of those characters come back right in the next game, and like a lot of things happen in the next game that I'm not going to tell you. 'Cause I know you're probably going to want to try Yakuza Kawaii or whatever it's
Kiwami.
called. Kiwami.
Yes.
And
So
I'm gonna
this
play it
being my
too.
first Yakuza, it gives me a totally different angle than like you, who knows all this already. You know what happens next. Like
There are so many things that happen to all these characters you've just been introduced to that you have no idea what's happening next. And I'm like,
I watched one trailer and then the ending credits talk about some stuff. From what I understand, Kiryu goes to prison.
Mhm.
Which off screen, this isn't like the
Yep.
game puts you there. Like you start one off out of prison after
Yep.
a 10-year time skip, which is crazy to me. I didn't think that was.
okay, so
I-
there's a lot. You just that's like not exactly what happens. You need to play Yakuza 1. Like it's just there's a lot of things that happen.
Okay, yes, and it
Um,
seems like Nishiki is like the antagonist,
Yes,
or
that
something
is
comes between them,
Yes. They spoil
which is
some
crazy.
stuff. Yes.
I was
it's
afraid
so-
of that. I was
Um,
mad because I saw that. I was like, oh, I didn't want to know that.
But like it's really good actually because like when it happens it's a big reveal but like a big twist on it, but like not like to where you're like, oh shit, it was actually Nishiki the whole time. It's like things happen and Nishiki has become bad and like you just see it. It's like not a twist really.
Which after this entire first game with
I
their
know.
brotherhood and like, I knew he was gonna pull the gun on him at that scene. Like I saw that one coming. I actually feel like I saw a lot of the moments coming, except for a lot of the ending stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind it. I didn't mind seeing that stuff coming because I'm like, this is a fun, hard-boiled soap opera kind of thing that
Yeah,
I'm super
it's-
into.
It's you don't need to like I think like I've had this discussion with a few people where I'm like I've even talked to you about cliches and how you know when a story's going to happen, but if it's done well, sometimes it's way more forgivable. When it's
You're like,
done,
oh, he's gonna pull the gun on him. He's
and
gonna
you're like,
do
oh
it.
shit, now it's gonna oh you know what's gonna happen, but you're just into the characters and how they're acting it out.
Exactly.
It's so soap opera-y, it's so over the top in some areas. That game has an amazing soundtrack, like straight up amazing.
So I don't love it as much as you do,
I
but
know
I like
that.
a couple songs.
I love that soundtrack. That's up there on my soundtrack. That is my soundtrack of the year. I'm playing Nier, and that might be knocked out by Nier, but Yakuza 0 is just winning it right now because a lot of things about you know 80s disco stuff is something I love. I adore. I'd kill for to have more of it. It's one of those things I feel so fresh all the time to me. And this game nails that aesthetic while also not trying to lean extremely hard into the aesthetic, which is amazing to me.
That side quest where you help Miracle Johnson walk down the street
Miracle.
while there's
Yeah.
zombies. Yeah.
It's
And
so
then
good.
there's. Oh god, it's.
And so
How do they
and then-
do it?
did
How
you
do
the-
they do
Did
it?
you do the disco fight with him where you fight him in disco?
I didn't.
Okay, so you can go back to the disco club later on and he's just there. And like I fought him in disco and he beat me by like 5,000 points and I had 5,000 points. Like he like schools you and he's like you're pretty good and you're like holy shit I can't beat him. I think you can beat him if you're just really good at the game, but I was not good at the disco game as good as he was.
That disco minigame's kind of hard.
It's kind of hard, really fun. All the disco music also kind of my favorite. That's probably my favorite music of this year is just that disco selection. I think it's so great and so funny. And the fucking Michael Jackson rip-off song that Miracle Johnson has
Miracle
done
Johnson.
is so good. Like it's like this song's by Miracle Johnson and it plays and it rips off bad from Michael Jackson in ways. It's fucking awesome. There's like so many reasons why that's my favorite music of the year is because there's like these fucking cool hard rock fight songs, and also there's just 1,000 funny karaoke. There's like a bunch of funny karaoke songs, a bunch of funny disco songs, and like a weird pizza delivery song that only plays once when you do the pizza delivery side quest. Like all that shit is so good. Ugh.
How'd you feel
Love
about the final encounter with
Final
Kiryu?
Count's like yeah, it's great. The double dragon face off.
They take the shirts off. They're both the dragons. This great music comes on.
Did you know
so
that
much energy.
they're fighting in each other's styles? That when you like first fight him, it's in rush style. The second fights, he's in your what's the yellow one
Beast?
called? The Beast. He's fighting you in Beast, and the final one's you fighting in normal.
I don't know if I picked up on that.
Because like he does purple trailing smoke, and I switched to rush, and like if you fight him in rush, like it's like an even encounter. Then when you fall down into the pit where all the chairs are, if you switch to Thug, he's also in Beast, he's also in yellow mode.
Yes.
And at the very end, it's like do whatever you want to do with now fight him however you want to. But like that's how that goes down. So I fought him in rush, and I fought him in Beast, and I fought him in standard, and it was great. It was awesome. It's a great
really
fight.
Good.
There can only
All those antagonists I love. I love all of them.
they're all like those characters are all characters of the year, and like where it's like, what's the best new character? It's literally all of them. Like,
Are they new? Am I allowed
new.
to nominate those?
They're dead.
Oh,
they
thank
died.
God.
Or, like some of them are dead now. Like
Well, what's his name? Who's the guy in the blue jacket who's like the beginning antagonist? Because he's my favorite.
Kuze?
Kuze is my favorite.
I think
I
Kuze's
love
only.
Kuze.
So I haven't played Yakuza 1 in a long fucking time because that game came out when the PS2 was getting rearing to go. I think Kuze's only in Yakuza 0.
Okay, good.
But I'm also completely unsure. I have now confirmed he's only Yakuza 0.
Do you also like Kuze a lot?
I also like Kuze. I like Awano a lot.
I like Awano a lot.
I mean, who's Goro's like handler?
Oh, he's so good. What's his name?
He's great.
Oh my god.
You could also say Makoto's great because she is.
I actually really liked Lee, the Chinese chiropractor
like, the
dude with the god hands.
With good like you would say the police detective is great, and then the guy Nishiki, the crazy dude that Goro meets who gets killed by a cop. Like when he tells you to run away.
Oh my
he's
god,
great.
Dude, this one side story like turns into like one of the most touching parts of the whole game when he learns about like this policeman's daughter was like murdered, and that's how like that thug dude became this Yakuza guy because he murdered that girl because the guy got off like scot-free, and like that's how he became like father's son. They had this really close relationship. Like you thought he was just this like scummy policeman working with the Yakuza, but like it just goes so much deeper. And then like he's willing to die for you because he respects like Majima so much, and he's like, we could have been friends, and you think this. Oh my.
And then also like since you play the rest of every Yakuza game, and he says at the end of 0 is like, I'm gonna just be me and be crazy because those are all.
You can totally tell. It's like I can see this is him gonna inherit that crazy character now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's so good. It's so well done.
Because I was saying like in the beginning he's this like suave club owner. Like
I know, right?
And then the next game he's like this crazy cross-dressing man like chasing Kiryu down for money as the new Mr. Shakedown.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's super good.
God. Dude, how do they do it?
I don't know, Joe. Every time I'm like always surprised, and like the voice acting is just fucking phenomenal all around. Like I'm not great with Japanese voice. I don't know if it's ever that good. Like if this is one of the few times where I can be like, this is actually really phenomenally done. Like
every word out of Kiryu's mouth is just like so intentional.
Everyone's mouth. Like anytime there's voice acting and it's happening, like it's great.
I thought Dojima was gonna die, but that wouldn't make any sense, you know.
No, yeah.
How does he get out of this? You kill the Chinese assassin, or you don't kill him, but like
I can't wait till you play Yakuza 1 because so much shit happens to everyone.
Does he come back? Game. The Chinese assassin fucking comes back.
I actually totally forgot about the Chinese assassin if he even comes back. Like a lot of stuff's like all blank, but I remember some Yakuza 1 beats that you'll really like. You really like Slugger style for Majima, correct?
I didn't switch out of Slugger style once I got it.
I was in Slugger for a bit, and then I switched to breakdancing and never looked back.
I hated breakdancing. I did not like those hitboxes.
I fucking crushed everything with breakdancing at the end of the game. Like I literally destroyed the world in breakdancing. It was amazing.
I fell in love with that bat nunchuck.
I think it just speaks to how like a lot of people like bat, and I fell in love with breakdancing. I think it speaks to how much that game is good. You like using everyone will have their style they really like.
You have the choice. You can do whatever you want, and they're all viable. And
then also like doing all three of them is also viable. Just switching around and fucking around in styles is also totally like, yeah, man, just do what you want. If you want to break some dude open with Thug and then switch to breakdance and just spin on their corpses. And then also just switch to Slugger to like repeatedly bat someone in the face over and over again. Go ahead. It's great. And also like I think like switching from like I'm punching a dude up in Rush style to like get my gauge back up real quick to smack him down and switch to Beast and just grab a fucking motorcycle and just slam dudes into it is amazing.
Just feels so visceral, so good.
Yeah, it is so incredibly down. And then like the mini games that you don't need to do in the game are really weirdly fleshed out and fun. Like being like, I need to get my money from the real estate, or I'm gonna do the Cabaret Club game.
Oh god, the Cabaret Club
is so much fun. I only beat Club Mars. I didn't even go any further than that.
I don't think I even got that far. I did the one you had to do, and then I was
So if you beat Club Mars, that's how you unlock more of your moves.
Oh wow, okay.
So like I went farther down Thug because I had more Thug that was unlockable. But I didn't do any more of them. But I could see myself going back and be like, all right, let's just do some. I'm just gonna do cabaret clubs for a day because like that was enjoyable for me.
I did a little more of the real estate than I did for the cabaret clubs, and
Yeah,
just messing around with all that.
I got Leisure Kings area, but then I didn't do anything past that.
One of my favorite things still about just Kazuma is like, you know that radio dude, and he can like call in.
Yeah,
Just that whole side quest of being like, here's this character now who's going to now write in about the side quest he's done in this really goofy way, and like endearing though, because he's like, oh, I want to be on the air, like
yeah,
that's all he wants. He's like, I want to win the prize.
Yeah,
And he's sitting there, he's like, huh, what should my name be? Oh, my favorite song is Judgment, so I'll be Judgment Kazi. Like, just the little moments like that just make me smile so much.
I was looking at the sub stories to see how many like where they all are if I want to do them all. I didn't do them all. I did like quite a few.
Oh god, yeah.
I looked at Goro's. He also has a ride-in postcard sub quest too. I didn't see where it was.
I didn't either.
So that's happening, and like actually talking to all the what's it called, the your cabaret club people you can have your personal one-on-one conversations with
With the girls?
yeah is really good.
Yeah, like all of that, all the little dialogue even.
Yeah, it's really impressive how like much of that stuff is fleshed out and fun, and like I don't know, I was like just playing it all. I'm like, this is just such a good game. Like,
I think it's just a fun game.
yeah,
Like it knows how to have fun. There's like a little bit of bullshit that gets in the way and some really weird pacing problems.
Yep.
And like
they backload
that's
a lot
probably
of
the
the good
biggest thing.
shit.
Yeah.
They backload a lot of the good stuff.
But then Kuze comes down the sewers in a motorcycle with a crowbar.
A steel pipe, please.
A fucking steel pipe. Yeah, there you go.
And then you come out and it's a Wano and he tries to be like, join me or you'll get fucking shot at when you walk out, and you walk out and no one's there.
And then your bro picks you up and then tries to kill you.
Yeah, it's so good. So good.
God, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think there's like some boring, and then like also like the tone switching is so cool in that game where you do some fucking hard and like drama story, and then you go off the beaten path and talk to this dude in his underwear who's just dancing seductively. Mr. Libido just comes out.
Mr. Libido.
Who's in both areas because he's a fucking weirdo, and you're like, this is the best game. Or befriend the dude at the fucking television set where you watch like weird softcore pornography thing.
Oh god, yeah, that's right. He is a relationship.
Uh-huh.
The only relationship I maxed out was one with this little girl who wanted to like win these prizes, so I won like crane games for her.
Yeah.
That's the only one I maxed out, but even that, like this little side story, like I suddenly like cared about her and like her mother, and she didn't have a father, and she's like using you as this like surrogate father figure, and then you save them from getting like these thugs.
Yep.
And it's just this little charming thing. Like it didn't need to be anything bigger than that.
And then you can also fight the lady in there in what's it called? What's the game, the arcade game in there, like the shooting flying game? I couldn't.
Oh.
I try to remember the name. I know what it is.
Yes,
like I just forgot.
yes.
But if you play her in that, and that's how you get a friendship up. And there's like the lady who works at like the Sega store. Like there's just so many little things in there that are very sweet. You texted me this. You said a sub story in this game or some character story in this game had a better thing than any of the confidants in Persona.
Yeah, like that's honestly how I feel.
Which is like
I think the writing in Yakuza on like the smallest level is better than some of the bigger scale stuff.
And it's
in
so
Persona.
well like localized to America. Like there's no like fuck ups there in any area, which is like kind of awesome.
And like they don't pull their punches either, like with the localization. Like they don't try and like sweeten it up or anything, which is I really appreciate.
They do I think I forget what some of the localization stuff is, but they do change some stuff to like, but like it's pretty straight localization. It's like that's usually all you need to do is like change some words around so it's like less, so it sounds better in American and not weird sounding in American. You're usually pretty good.
But like there's a lot of just weird shit that you wouldn't expect in like American culture or like even just American games, and
yeah, but like
they don't try and hide any of that, and I love that.
I think the reason like they get away with like not having to change stuff is A, it's set in Japan, so like hey, you're in Japan, get used to it kind of, and B, they're not like trying to be like, oh, it's for everyone. They're like, no, Yakuza's just for people who like Yakuza. Like
it's
Yakuza's
a super niche thing.
It's so established now, but it's very good. It's very good.
Very good. I like that game a lot.
I'm gonna get into that. I'm at the very end of Fire Emblem Shadows, Echoes, whatever.
Oh, I
Shadows
forgot about
Ultia.
that.
I got to the
Yeah.
very end of it. I got to the dungeon. I died in it. I had to reload a save, so I stopped playing. And that's
Oh, that must be a bummer.
yep. Because I got to the part where it's like, you can go on your own, and I was
Oh,
like,
you
all
died
right.
there?
And I walked in and I was like, all right, whatever. And then I just died there because I just died, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not playing because I'm done.
Yeah, that's soul crushing.
And then so I'm gonna probably maybe do that area after I explore around more and get Alm leveled up some more. But that fight with corrupted Berkut was a little tough. It was a tough fight.
Yeah, that one's tough. I definitely used Milla's turn wheel.
That
Like,
was the
almost
toughest
all
fight
I needed
in the whole
Yeah.
game. I keep forgetting that's a thing. I just let people die, and I'm like, God, move on. Like,
There's
because
a
they come back to life, because I'm not doing like permanent death. So
Oh,
I'm like,
you're on the Phoenix casual mode or whatever it's
yeah,
called?
because I'm like, yeah,
Okay.
I've been playing this shit ton of Fire Emblem. I don't need to do like. I've gotten to the point in my life where I just don't need to put myself through anything like that. Where I'm like, okay, they'll come back. It's fine.
A word of warning, I think that final boss is super hard. Like, I
Alright.
barely finished it. Like, I
Exciting.
got lucky.
And
I had, like, 0 Milla turn wheels out of, like, 10. Like, I used all of them, like, oh god. It was
Yeah,
intense.
it sounds like it's gonna be an intense ride to finish that game. But I'm close. It's just that game has officially worn out its welcome like a while ago, and I'm getting done with it now.
And I'm thinking about going back to it soon, actually, because what amazed me is, I mean, it might be a spoiler for you, but, like, there's post-game in that game, in a Fire
Yeah.
Emblem game, which I think is rad.
I assume to finish some quests you need to band up with her eventually. So I was like, I bet you'll band up at the end of the game while you do stuff. But I think I'm probably at the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm wiping myself out in that game where I'm just like, yeah, whatever, finish, just wrap it up.
There's, like, a chapter 6, and it lets you, like, sail across the ocean to, like, the Marth continent.
Well, that's interesting. I might give that a swing too. Then we'll see.
I didn't actually do it because there's like 4 tiles of just like ship battles. I was like, I don't need to do this now.
Yeah, like I'm getting really tired of those battles of being like, you're also on a ship again. And I'm like, or you're
Yeah.
also just in the dungeon again. And I'm like, okay,
I'm with people. The maps are probably the weakest part. but I
select
think there's-
tactics, charge, and then just let that game play itself.
For whatever reason, I actually think those monster closets are kind of fun. I think that might just be a crazy me thing.
That might be a crazy you thing. I think like the whole fun of like Fire Emblem's like figuring out a puzzle on like a level, and but then like also just getting the same level over and over again is like, all right,
Yeah.
whatever.
I love that witch level though, where you fight whatever her name is, and she's in that giant tower, and she's got like that Medusa spell that puts you at 1 health, so you have
Yeah.
to like go around. Like that's my favorite level. I thought that one was dope.
Yeah, like those. I think the level design's good. I think I don't like how it gets just weird where I'm like, it feels like it's like, all right, you're fighting archers now. They don't hurt Pegasus not
that
as
was
much.
what threw me
And
for
then
a loop.
and then they go, now they actually hurt flyers way more now.
Well, you just got to read if they have the ability or not.
Yeah, and I'm
That's all
like,
it
but I'm
comes
like,
down
I'm just
to.
kind of like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like maybe you should just front load that to be quicker. And I'm starting to be like, actually, I think a lot of the modern Fire Emblem stuff may be just better in some areas where like I like the weapon triangle stuff a little more. I'm thinking about it more. I like some of that stuff way more. I think the relationship stuff in this game is probably the best, maybe where it's been in a while. I mean, compared to Fates, it's not saying a lot, but
Yeah, of course.
even compared to Awakening, I think some of the relationship stuff is better. I wish it would just cut the fucking we're all teenager bullshit and maybe get a little more real after a bit.
I just wish
I'm
there was
just-
more of it instead of one per character.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just getting tired of like Fire Emblem like this change was mechanical. I want it to be actually like story wise change to like throw me for a loop, give me some weirder characters, give me some adults, and not like this. Give me something more, maybe not darker, but just different. You know what I mean?
What are your thoughts on Radiant Dawn?
Radiant Dawn's fun. I like Radiant Dawn. I think that story's all right.
Okay, because I like that story. I think that like Ike is a coming of age story for sure. But I
Yeah.
think there is not a lot of teenage drama or angst. I think.
I'd be
I
like
think that
totally
feels
fine with
pretty
almost
good.
like a war, like a war story or based one. Maybe I'm just like maybe just tired of whimsicalness for like a week. I just want to call it quits on whimsy and be like done. Maybe I'm just getting tired of whimsy in my life a little bit, and like I just
That's
need, like
totally possible.
just need like a break from all that. So I'm like yeah, I get it. Like oh no, Celica's making the dumb decision because she's an idiot. And I'm like all right, and Alm's gonna go save the day.
Selga's an idiot in that game.
Yeah, and I'm
Irredeemable
like,
idiot.
yeah, she's like just stupid. I'm like, what are you? I'm like, this is a bad character, and not like in the way where like a character is bad because they're a good character. This character is just an idiot and makes no sense. Like, and she's like, this is the only way. And if you like, and you're like, no, literally, we have.
Just stab Jeddah. Just stab her.
Oh, just say you have the actual solution. He's like, I can't. And I'm like, you fuck. And what? Then he's like, God damn it, I'll do it because it's good to do it. And like that awakens the power in the dragon. I'm like, this fucking video game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like that shit just annoys me at this point now, where I'm just like tired of it. Where I'm like, make him like almost at the start be that way, and then his whole work up is to get to the dragon. And the dragon's like, actually, if you take my power, then we could do it. And he's like, no, fuck you. Humans are going to do it. And, like, that would have been a cool, like, thing. But instead, it's just like, actually, the dragon always wanted humans to not rely on them. And I'm like, what? Fuck you.
Yeah, my favorite things are still just, like, Bernard and, what's the other dude? What's the cousin dude who you were talking about?
Berkut?
That tough battle? Berkut. I like Berkut a lot.
I almost wish Berkut didn't go the obvious way and actually joined your side. That would have been way better in my head if he was like, oh, I realize this path I'm going down only leads to ruin, and then was like, actually, maybe I was wrong this whole time in thinking my way. Also, the way they counter, I was also really mad that they made Alm a king. Like, that
Yeah.
is so disappointing. It's like, it actually goes against everything the game was saying and goes, oh, actually, the kings are the best. And like, that's how it goes. And you're like, what? Why? You're like, why'd you back down now? Like, what? So, like, a bunch of things
blood, man. Royal bloodline.
Maybe it's like, I don't want a different story than, I want them to do a story good for once. It's like what I actually want, maybe. And hopefully one day they'll do it. But I'm not, hoping. I'm hoping, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah.
I haven't played a Fire Emblem yet that's really like subverted the trope. Is like the thing.
I hope
we're good with tropes when they're done well, but it's really nice when they're subverted too.
Yeah, when tropes are done well, they're really good. But like when tropes doing well means you have to put a lot of time into that trope and like really flesh it all the way out.
Really flesh it out.
Where Fire Emblem doesn't give you enough time to have that trope fleshed out. So like I think Fates went the whole way of being every character is a joke, which sucks. And then Awakening is every character is just the trope, which worked for Awakening because it was so new. And then you have this game, which is like, kind of in between, but we're not really going that far because the story betrays a lot of what was cool about what we were going for because fuck you. And you're like, all right, I guess that's it.
But the characters are interesting, or at least maybe they seem so much more interesting because Fates is the last one I played. Like,
I think they're more interesting
I like
than Fates.
Saber. I like those Pegasus girls. I like all those characters. We talk about Valbar, we talk about Leon, Kamui. Leon.
Yeah, you gotta say it every time you bring it up. It's just how it works.
And the voice acting's great. I think they all need to have that level of voice acting because that goes so far. Like that honestly bumps that up so much to me.
Yeah, the subpar bullshit of that game is bumped up because the voice actors are giving it their all, like legitimately.
Which is crazy from Nintendo of America. What the fuck?
Yeah, they're pushing for voice acting, so maybe they'll get it one day.
Because Zelda. Yeah, I hear Zelda's bad.
You want to talk about voice acting that's bad? Then we go back to Zelda. That shit
I'll get back
awful.
to you in a week.
That shit is
I'll let you know.
Awful.
I said I wanted the Jap subs immediately. I said it.
You mean English subs and Japanese dub?
Oh, the Japanese dub. That's what I want.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually awful voice acting, which is like incredible. It's incredibly bad. It's impressive.
I hear the Italians get pretty good. Italian voice acting.
And so what else have you been playing?
So I have a great tale of redemption for you, Chase Weaver.
Okay, did you like destroy yourself and then redeem it? Like what happened?
One of my greatest video game sins has been corrected.
Was that Halo 1?
No.
Oh.
Even more appalling to me that I messed up.
Go ahead.
It's a game called Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh, that's right, you beat Xenoblade Chronicles.
5 years in the making.
That's a long fucking time.
I loaded up this save I was like, I need to do it. And my last save was like July 27th, 2013, and it was July 20th. It's like poetry.
It rhymes.
I was in Sword Valley, and I went all the way. I finally beat that game.
The game's great.
That game's a 10 out of 10.
Ah.
That game's a 10 out of 10. They make you grind at the end is my biggest complaint.
I never think a game's a 10 out of 10 is like almost where I sit in my life now. But
I love Xenoblade Chronicles, dude.
Xenoblade Chronicles X is one of the best games.
X.
Oh, X?
X is the Wii U one.
X is the you beat X. That's what you're saying.
I beat I beat the Wii one.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's Xenoblade Chronicles.
You put an X on there. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
Okay, my bad. Whatever. I'm tired. It's been a few days. Game's amazing.
That game's honestly amazing. Like, that game goes off the rails in ways I didn't expect for some reason, because I forgot I was playing a JRPG, and then it becomes a JRPG with gods and shit.
The Monado.
The Monado.
Oh,
Dude, those
man.
characters are all really good, though.
Yeah, they're done super well. Like, that game's just really well done.
It's hard for me to even talk about it now, because it's just...
Well,
Being so
because
splintered, I jumped into the end of that game.
yeah,
basically.
yeah, so you splintered it, and you don't want to talk about the like. I almost feel like we can spoil every ending for every game we can talk about, but I would not want people to like the payoff for playing all the Xenoblade Chronicles is fantastic.
I finished that game. I texted my friend. I was like, I feel like I climbed Mount Everest. Like, that's honestly how I felt when I finished that game after 5 years of playing it, and like the payoff was so good.
How would it feel to tell you if someone played that game twice and beaten it twice?
Just don't tell me you did that.
That's what I've done.
You're insane.
'Cause I beat that game on the 3DS.
Oh, okay. You didn't do New Game Plus then, because you had the New Game
No.
Plus, and it's like, here's your Super Monado, and I was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, then you go fucking all in with the Super Monado. No,
I think you carry over your levels, like, my god.
No, I got it for the new 3DS and I beat it then too.
How's that version?
That game's good. It's a little weird, a little like clunky
Little
to sometimes get
compromised?
around, but yeah, it's definitely compromised, but it's fantastic still.
What a
And,
cool
and I played through
fucking
half
game.
of that game on the Dolphin emulator.
Oh, I hear it's beautiful there.
Buddy, I tell you what, I don't know how to play Wii games anymore without playing them on my computer now.
I was just playing them. It was still amazing.
I mean, those games are still amazing. HD, they're even more.
I believe you.
Yeah, I mean, Mario Galaxy really fucking pops all of a sudden.
Oh,
Tell you
yeah.
what.
Totally. But,
Because-
like... I just
Go
want
on.
to say... Okay. Engage the Enemy is, like, one of my favorite songs in, like, video games, I think.
It's great.
Like, you put that into any scene, and suddenly it's just, like, packed with emotion and intensity, and just... That song is so fucking good, dude.
Man, that game's a solid. It's just such a fucking solid game.
That's, like, top 10 games of last gen, I feel like.
Oh yeah, like we talk about games like of last gen, and I'll fight for games that like people haven't played because no one played enough of these games. And I'm like, there's so many good games that came out,
There's so many, yeah, and just no way to play all of them.
and you always
realistically.
forget, and you always forget.
But Xenoblade is just on such a high level to me right now.
Yeah,
That
it's great.
Oh god, and that final boss, and just all that build up, and like they do this like science-y fiction turn in such an engaging way, and I'm gonna spoil it, but like
Go ahead.
just how like they flash back to how Zanza is just this like scientist dude who blows up the fucking universe, like engineers a big bang so he can become a god.
It's so good. It's so
Dude.
good. It's so good.
And then Shulk was dead the entire time.
There's like so much all around that's just crazy.
I love Dunban, and most importantly, I love what's his name? Your kind of like father figure who turns on you with the cigar.
Oh,
What's
his name?
He's so good.
Yeah, they're all very very good.
And then fighting him at the end, and he's like, I want him to watch me die after you beat him. And like Meliot goes with this whole thing of being like a half-blood. Turns out the full-blood people just turn into these fucking dragon monster things. So it's like that was the purpose all along, was to like dilute their race so they could go on living. But they were
Yeah.
all like super racist against like the non-pure bloods.
Dixon
Dixon, I love Dixon. I can't remember his name, but
took me a minute there. Sorry, I'm working on it.
Dixon's fucking great.
Also want to say Mumkar is
I love
fantastic.
Mumkar. I
Mumkar's
love
great.
Mumkar.
He's great villain the whole time.
The way that game just goes from a micro story to a macro story, like that game has
Yeah.
a sense of scale so unlike anything I've played. Like I know you're playing The Witcher, but Xenoblade is just like the densest game I've like.
No, Xenoblade is bigger and denser than Witcher 3.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. It's just a bigger game, I think, generally.
There's
I
just so many side quests, and they all are like paragraphs on paragraphs of text, and like
Witcher 3, I think works because it is actually it's big, but it's less dense because that is the world the Witcher 3 works in a
Yeah.
way. And where like this game works better because it is so big and dense at the same time.
Gods. Make a
But
world without gods.
since we're transitioning into Witcher 3, I played a fucking shit ton of
Yeah.
Witcher 3 and just started the DLC.
Yeah. Just dive in.
I
Red
just
Zone.
started the DLC. Like I've been playing that whole time you see me on. I've just gone to the DLC now.
Hearts of Stone or
Hearts of
Blood and
Stone
Wine?
because the Blood one, Blood and Wine is a little bit higher level, so I just started Hearts of Stone right when I could. Which is like 32, level 32, which is pretty far into the game. I think I'm literally at the final act of the game, like the final mission of the game, and now I'm doing the DLC.
Okay.
Now I've started doing the DLC, and it's fantastic. DLC, by the way, from when I started, it's fucking fantastic. It is.
I haven't heard a single bad thing about
It's
either of those
so
DLCs.
good. So the start is literally this: a guy pretty much tells you, hey, there's like a weird prince, like a prince down the sewer. People keep saying they keep missing when they go down the sewer. You go down there and investigate it. That's the start of the game. You go down there, and the prince is, the prince is actually a giant frog, and you kill him. He turns back into a prince. It's like you don't believe the tale, and it happens. These guys capture you because it's their prince. You get put on their ship. You get broken out of the ship by like a weird magician devil character called like Gaunter O'Dim, who's appeared at the very beginning of The Witcher 3. And so like you don't realize he's acting like some weird magician monster guy who has like almost a bunch of power, but you don't know how. He's like a very mysterious character. And so you have to go back to the guy who you got the contract from. So it turns out he's immortal, and you have to try to figure out he needs to pay the debt to Gaunter, so you're doing tasks for him. And so the first task I did was, hey, you have to make my brother have the best day of his life. Turns out his brother's dead, so you bring him back as a ghost. The ghost possesses Geralt, and like this guy's like a super braggadocious, like always like happy kind of guy who's kind of a piece of shit also because he's a bandit. And so you go to a wedding with this character from The Witcher 1 that he's constantly hitting on, and he's constantly like, so it's like Geralt of Rivia, so it's the same voice just being like, I love dancing, and then like going and dancing and like doing weird bullshit. And it's actually hilarious, and it made me laugh genuinely a few times. Walks up to a bunch of halflings and just goes, "What's happening, midgets?" And everyone's like, "What the fuck, man?" Like, and he's like, and you can play him as like an asshole or like, "I apologize." I'm like, I'm only gonna play him as an asshole because this dude's obviously an asshole. And so he's like, I just call him like I see him, and like then you go play Gwent with these midgets, and if you lose, they put donkey ears on you because you're an ass, and it's pretty funny. And like then I stopped, so I had to take a break. But like all that just started happening very quickly, was very fun, very good storytelling, best Witcher 3 stuff that could like just a great quest line is happening. Oh, it's fantastic.
Dude, I gotta play The Witcher 3.
And then The Witcher 3 is also like it's a difficult game. I like the combat in that game weirdly. It's a really weird combat where like that game is like hit, get out, hit, get out. Like that game is like if you get smacked once and you're fighting monsters at your level, you're gonna get fucked up really quickly.
Is that because they like stagger chain you, or just because of how much damage one?
How much damage they do because they're monsters. Like that's like the thing. It's very much playing to like, hey, if you're going into like if you have an idea of what the monster is, you know, and you get to maybe the monster, you're like, and you're fighting the monster, you just pause the game and go, okay, these are the things I need to fight monster. I'm gonna put the oil on. I'm gonna put this decoction on. Enter the game, chug your potions really quickly, and then just go into the fight. Like that's how I've always done it. It's very, it's not the greatest combat, but it's like totally doable. And you can mess with the difficulty. I mark the difficulty up one, so I think I can take it. Now that game's like actually like a weird level where I'll smack a monster if I go too deep in, and that monster hits me back. I can get chunked in a very easy way.
Okay.
So it can
punishing.
It can be very punishing, even if you're like doing everything correctly and you just get smacked once. You're just like losing health, and so like just knowing what everything can do is kind of fun that way. And so like that game, and then like all the questing for that game, all the story for that game is fantastic. It is just so exceptionally well done for character stuff that I don't know. It's just still good, just still very good.
I mean, that's been cited as like some of the best writing in the medium, and that's largely due to obviously coming from a book, you know.
Well, the thing is, like, the character comes from the book, but everything from The Witcher 3 is all that they made all of it up themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is like super impressive, I think.
Yeah, I think like having the pre-established character helps.
I think it helps a lot. It does.
So I'm excited to see what they do when they give the player the character, which is obviously what they're going to do in Cyberpunk 2077, because that comes from a pre-established setting of Cyberpunk, the tabletop game. Uh,
So it's gonna be New Vegas-esque in that way, right? Of like
uh,
roll your own character.
yeah, kind of like yeah, kind of. It's so like yeah, you're gonna roll your own character. It's gonna be. I hope I want to see what they do. I hope they let you get because Geralt's very detracted from the world in The Witcher 3. That's how he's done. He doesn't really want to meddle with the world affairs. I hope in Cyberpunk 2077 you can meddle with the affairs of the world because in Cyberpunk I want to make meaningful changes in Cyberpunk. That's what I really want to do. Where in The Witcher you make changes for the people around you, not for the world around you. Really, only a few. And like I
Which
want
is
to get more.
That's nice also to though have a setting where it's like you're not saving the world at the stakes here, right?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
I didn't know that The Witcher was like that. I thought there'd be
There
worldwide stakes.
there is worldwide stakes, but like you're not drawn into them because of that. I would say it's a
okay.
different kind of way. Like it builds to that, but it builds in 70 hours to that. So
Okay.
it's not that the part where like that thing happens is like you're like, oh okay, yeah, this would happen obviously, but like once like when that all finishes, no one's like, good job, Geralt, you did it. Everyone's like, that just kind of happened, and like no one else knows that happened really. It's good.
It's probably how Geralt would want it.
Yeah, and then the game ends and gives you like the epilogue screen, and it's pretty well done. But I'm just playing the DLC and I'm enjoying it. There's playing a lot of Gwent, enjoying that. Got a good Gwent deck, so it's been fun.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear The Witcher is still a 10 out of 10.
Witcher's still a 10 out, and also I got my second platinum ever on Killing Floor 2.
I saw that, and I said you're a madman.
I've been playing a lot of Killing Floor 2 still.
How hard was that platinum to get?
So it's time consuming. The really hard part is Hell on Earth. That's super difficult to play because that's like you need people who are only level 25, and I went in there at like 23. I got carried, like not super carried, but carried. And then I'm doing it with my friend now, and she just got to 25, and so me and her are gonna try to do a Hell on Earth probably together. And it's just really hard.
That's the hardest difficulty, right?
It's the hardest difficulty. Like it's like round 2, 300 zombies. Like it's like round 3. Like we like maybe a full team was like 331 zombies. Go. And you just don't have the ammo or like you need to have everyone like on fucking game mode to do that.
Yeah, how much money do they start you with? They throw you into round 3.
Normal amount of money.
Jesus.
Oh no, they don't throw you in round 3. It's like round 1. You know, it builds up slowly, so you can still get there. But like the problem isn't like you don't have the guns for it. You don't have like the best guns yet. Does just give you those yet? But like it is, you have the things you need to. It is just now you have to do everything really well. Maybe not perfectly.
Perfect sync.
Yeah, and so like once you're 25, like the cool things started happening. So like in Z time, I shoot like normal.
That is cool.
So in slow-mo, I'm a support, so I have a shotgun, so this like double barrel, I have this shotgun that I can tap twice and it shoots 2 barrels and it cocks, and I can do that 12 times. It's 24 bullets, so I can double shoot twice. So like you just have like slow-mo, I can just like take out like 20 zombies in like a second and reload. And it's really good, but then you're like, I'm almost out of ammo. There's still 100 zombies left, so you gotta be like good at all that. It was a hell of a mode.
Yeah, you could really screw yourself over that way, I could see.
Yeah, and I think the funniest part is like probably the hardest achievement that I'm gonna have to get for my friend, but she and my other friend are platinum hunters. All they go for is platinums. Like they just keep going for platinum still. And the hard one is there's a boss called the Patriarch.
Yep.
And he can turn invisible and runs away and heals. That's what he does. But you can kill him before he runs away the first time and heals. And you have to get the killing blow on him and do that, and you get an achievement, and that's a very hard achievement to get. And I got
only
that
one of you can get that around, yeah.
Yeah, and I got that, and there's 2 bosses, so you might not just get him sometimes.
Got it.
And I got that one just because I was playing a lot, and just like got him one time, and was like, oh, cool, dope. And she has never gotten it.
Good luck with that, and that's obviously much easier for some classes than others too.
Yeah, I'm like I have an AA-12, so I'm like 30 rounds of a shotgun, just pump, 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 and she is the commando, so it's like an assault rifle. So it's just I'm almost like, hey, switch classes is like about what I'm about to say to her, but yeah. I think she'd kill me if I said that, so I might not.
Train it up to 25, you know.
Yeah, train up another class 25. So hopefully we can do that. I'm gonna have to get my friends. I think we're gonna need 3 people to do it, so we can block 2 doorways and just stand there and just take a bunch of hits while she kills them. But I don't know. Hopefully we'll fucking see.
God, if I was a berserker, that'd be impossible, wouldn't it? Get
that kill?
Axe, get that samurai sword.
Well, you can like. There's so many weird weapons now. There's like you have like a saw blade attached to the end of a gun that shoots saw blades as a berserker, and then you can run up and just saw people. Like it's pretty good.
All right, then never mind.
Berserkers can carry if they're high level.
It's
But
a whole new
also,
world.
when Z time activates, they move and attack normally.
Sounds
So they're just like running around, slicing with like a blade and just murdering everything. It's pretty awesome.
like a good time.
Yeah, it's a great game. I somehow accidentally platinumed it. I didn't accidentally. I went for it like a little bit where I was like, oh, I can just get this, and then just did. So I was like, I'm just playing this, so I'll just do it.
Casual platinum.
Yeah, cash plat. Wasn't the hard platinum like Final Fantasy 15 where I was like, man, this fucking, if I wasn't stupid and was like, I'm just gonna platinum this because I want to say that because I'm an idiot and fight this dumb turtle.
You
and
are
fight
an
this.
idiot.
You also platinumed it, right?
Nope.
Oh, did you? I thought you fought the turtle.
Nope.
Yeah, that turtle is a fucking piece of shit.
That's why I didn't fight him.
Yeah, it's a real garbage game.
Still getting patches though. That's a whole nother fascinating issue.
What have you else been playing?
So I got one. This one might actually be a deep dive for us here.
Okay, let's go.
Super Metroid.
Oh yeah, you finally played your Metroid and beaten it, I assume.
Yes, I have.
Okay. So what final opinion on Super Metroid?
I don't know. It's
Okay.
super weird for me because I have a lot of like interesting feelings about it.
Go on.
So obviously this game gone down in history as like one of the greatest games of all time, which doesn't ever do any game any favors. Ever.
Nope, never does.
It's actually like a shame, and I hate that. And we shouldn't ever talk about games like that. I say,
Yep.
as I said, Xenoblade Chronicles was a 10 out of 10.
That's why I hate the idea when anyone says
Yeah.
the golden age of games.
Yeah.
I think that's the dirtiest thing you can say to a time. Also,
I-
also it's the best time to be playing video games is right now. Everyone, get in while it's hot.
It's actually like actively colored my opinion of a lot of SNES games in like a very real way, and that bums me out.
I think like Final Fantasy VI has that too with you. Where like best Final Fantasy ever 6, and you get in, you're like, well, no, it's not, and like
Best JRPG ever, Final Fantasy VI. I'm like,
yeah, Chrono Trigger, best JRPG ever.
At least I think the Chrono Trigger is still like a good game. At least it's like where I
yeah.
can't fall. But like anyone with expectations, like people would have you believe now, like that would just suck.
Yeah, it's hard to like I went to Kingdom Hearts was like everyone keeps telling me it's such a great game. Even people who don't like it are like, no, it's really good. And I went in and was like, no, actively no.
And you know what? As proven, every game's not for everybody. You know,
No,
it's just the way
definitely
it goes.
not.
And I still like Super Metroid a lot. I do. I think it's like a really cool game. I think there's a lot of really good stuff going on in it, but it just didn't blow me away in any like super meaningful way. Like when I played Symphony of the Night, like I was actively amazed. I still put that as like one of my favorite games of all time. And like Super Metroid just didn't crack that for me. And I wonder if I had played Super Metroid first, if that would have been a differentiating factor. It probably would have been. But
It's interesting because like Symphony of the Night doesn't hold as much value to me as Portrait of Ruin does, because that's what I played first. That was my first Castlevania jump in, and then then I went backwards.
And I bet that's a huge thing,
But also my first
no doubt.
Metroidvania game was literally Metroid. I played O-Ridge Metroid and beat it on like that's what I did.
Which I have not played.
That game has like a lot of value to me. Because like that game was so fucking weird and cool, and it's impossible to go back to that game. That game is really fucking old and bad and weird and gross, and I like it a lot.
I've played like 5 minutes of it on like Brawl. They let you do like play little tutorials of them.
Oh, weird. I
Yeah.
don't even remember that in Brawl. Best Super Smash Bros. Game.
That's my favorite.
It is. It's the best one.
Back to Super Metroid though.
Yeah.
I think I do just identify more with Castlevania as a series. Like I love, the Dracula, vampire, gothic stuff just inherently more than like the space stuff, which is just like a personal taste thing. That's just a me thing.
Yeah, I understand.
I do like space stuff. I think I like Metroid Prime better than Super Metroid, and I spent a long time thinking about that.
I think that's like not an interesting take, but like a weird and like cool one. I like that one a lot. So interesting, I guess, is the word to use. I think it's like a good take almost to be like do you think like Metroid Prime's like an improvement upon the Super Metroid formula in a way?
Yes.
Or?
Like
Okay.
after finishing Super Metroid, I like gained a ton of appreciation for Prime, and
Welcome to why I love Prime a lot.
yeah, like that game is like more impressive to me than Ocarina of Time to Link to the Past.
Yes.
If that makes sense, like that kind
makes
of
perfect
jump.
sense. It's like so like the reason I really like Metroid Fusion's in there in between this Game Boy Advance game. Actually, I don't know. Did Metroid Fusion come out before Prime or I don't?
Probably before.
I'm
'cause
not
there's
getting-
a Prime. There's a Prime suit. I mean, there's a Fusion suit in Prime, so I would say
Yes,
yes.
I'd have to assume too. But it is such a like how do we move the series forward? Because Metroid Fusion doesn't move it forward in any actual way.
It's just another. It's like the GBA Castlevania games.
Yeah. I want to point out Fusion and Prime came out in the same year.
That's insane.
So I would actually say it's weird to play Fusion and then Prime because Prime is just the actual evolution, I think, of the Metroid series, and Fusion is what if we made a worse Super Metroid. This is not as good as original. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why this is why I like Prime a lot, because it felt such like a revolution to like that series in a way that I haven't had another game do to me in like that kind of way.
And it doesn't feel like a one-to-one in any way either. Like, there's a ton of fresh new ideas they do to it, and a ton of tweaks, and, like, creative ways to take that stuff. Like, what they do with the beams is so different from what Super Metroid does with the beams. But then you do have things where it's like, oh, the grapple beam functions the same way, but having that in a 3D space is just so different. And making that work, making that a reality, I think is fascinating.
Yeah, there's only been a few games that have done that to me. Also, one of the other ones, that was also a different transition from a top-down to a first-person. Super Metroid isn't top-down, but Fallout 1 and 2 to New Vegas was actually that realization of something happening.
Skipping 3?
Because 3 didn't do any of what I like.
3 didn't happen. 3's not a game.
3 happened, but like it was like the realization of, oh, you can't do Fallout in first person. You can't. I guess that's just you can't do Fallout anymore. I guess it just doesn't work. And then someone gave me New Vegas, and I was like, oh, I guess you can. Someone can make those games happen. Which is probably the funniest thing to me is like I play 3 and go, this sucks, and I play New Vegas and go, oh, someone actually wanted to make a good game. And I go, oh well. Besides Bethesda's bad policies at reviewing, they're also bad at making video games.
So let's talk about the actual Super Metroid game, like itself.
Yeah.
Like I want to talk about stuff.
Let's get into it.
I just said that. I think there must be something wrong with my Super Nintendo controller. Like there must be something weird about either my D-pad or my A button, but like I don't feel like these controls are the tightest. I really just don't. And I don't know if that's the controller or the game or what.
Yeah, I haven't played Super Metroid in 4 or 5 years now. It's 21, 4 years. Yeah, 4 years probably. It's been quite a bit since I've jumped into the Super Metroid. I don't replay a lot of games. I only think about them because I just don't do that. I don't have time. So I couldn't remind. I remember it being tight for me, but also it was 4 years ago.
That sprint feels real good when you start running.
Oh, the super sprint, like yes, the speed boost.
That's real good. And then you run, you just blow up shit.
Did you know if you crouch, you can save it?
Yes, there's like a little animal that like teaches you how to do that.
Yes,
a bird.
I think a cool thing about that game is the environmental storytelling in some areas, or like environmentalist tutorial-ish stuff, like not flat out just going hold it down, ding dong.
Yeah, they do cool subtle stuff.
Yes,
especially like at the ending, particularly. I think.
Yeah, game's got good atmosphere. Is all I'll say.
Super great atmosphere, actually.
Yeah, that's why I appreciate Prime in those games so much. Of like this series, like it is just it feels like you're there a little bit.
And I feel like at the end of the day, my biggest problems always come down to when I'm playing that game, I still feel like I'm fighting the controls so much. I feel like it's not doing what I want it to do.
Gotcha.
Like I know it's an old game. Like one thing I would have loved is if like strafing worked the way I wanted it to. Like if I held down that R button and she's got her arm cannon like in that crossway, like if I could just step backwards still holding it that without charging, I would have loved that. Like something little like that would have gone so long. Because then when you do charge it, I turn on a setting where it will kind of strafe and stand still, but then I was at this terrible point where it would, when I wanted to turn around, I'd be charging it so it wouldn't turn around the right way, and I was just always getting it wrong.
Okay. I see that, yeah.
And like, I texted you about that wall jump.
Yeah, the wall jump. It can be a little tricky.
That thing like the bane of my existence. I got to that room where like you have to wall jump out of it, and these monkeys are like teaching you how to do it. I thought like, oh, I'm supposed to wall jump here, and then it wasn't working, so I thought there just was no wall jump in that game. So I spent the next half hour like shooting the monkeys trying to figure something out until finally this weird animation happened where I did a fake fucking wall jump that kind of worked. And I got real mad.
Yeah, it's like you plant, then jump, plant, jump, plant, jump, plant, jump. It's hard, but I always found a rhythm to it. Even when I first played it, was like duh, 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 and I was like, oh, I get it. I'm getting it.
I just don't think the timing needs to be that precise.
Yeah,
you play a game like Mega Man X, and it just lets you fucking wall jump.
I agree. I think, I mean, I don't know if like that. I think that game should be like easier on the jumping, but then I think people could abuse the shit out of it. So maybe I don't know.
Probably, you're right. There's probably a balance there, but
Yeah,
I don't think
maybe.
it needed to be nearly as harsh as it was.
Yeah, it's like a 5 to 10 frame. Like I think that's the limit. I've is what it is. Is like 5 to 10 maybe.
And like that problem just came back to haunt me. I got to like Meridia, which is the last part of the game. It's in like that water section.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of the game. That part of the game absolutely sucks. I hated it. Like you have this like Brinstar is so cool. You've got this great music playing in Brinstar. You fight this giant. What's his name? Like Krieg. He's this big lizard man. Yeah, he shoots out lizards from his belly button or some shit. That's the best boss, by the way. Most of those bosses are bad. I don't like those bosses.
I don't
at
know
all.
if Kraid's good, but I like Kraid's design.
That's what I mean. Like I actually think a lot of those bosses are like super weak.
Yeah, I agree.
Was it Norfair's the fiery part? That part was cool.
Yeah.
Some good stuff going on there. A little annoying that there's like one way in and out of Norfair.
Yeah,
You have to go
that's
back
a.
there.
I think that game is antiquated in like some level design and some area design and stuff. Like and the thing that sucks about that is like you just don't get Metroid games like a lot like enough for them to really start iterating on it crazily. Like you just
And it pioneered the genre, so like you can't really be too mad at it about something like
no.
that.
I mean like you look back. I think it's not bad to look back on those games and go, oh, I see all the problems here, and then I play the next one and it was really great. You know, like
Yeah,
that's where like I don't care that you don't like this game as much as I did because I played it when like it felt fresh to me.
Sure.
So like, but then you played Prime, you're like, oh, I really appreciate Prime now, and I'm like, okay, cool, then we're fine. Like where I can say I don't like Kingdom Hearts, but I can also be like, here's my reasons why. Also, like I know why you like them, and that's fine. And like that's the end of the day, we're okay.
Yeah.
I'm not murdering you for not liking Super Metroid. That comes later.
And I do like Super Metroid. I do.
Yeah.
It's just like not my favorite.
But it's not Symphony
you
of
know?
the Night. It's not Symphony of the Night.
I don't think it's Symphony of the Night.
Well, I don't think anything's Symphony of the Night, to be totally honest.
Do you like Symphony of the Night more than Super Metroid?
They're so different to me in this weird way where like I always get confused. People are like, oh, Metroidvanias, and I'm always like, yeah, those games are different in like fundamental like ethos to me. You know,
they're
like
super. Even something as small down to like the difference between a sword and an arm cannon. You know,
Yeah.
like that's just such a different feel.
yeah, like they're like I'm like when I play a Castlevania game, I play a Castlevania game. When I play a Metroid game, I play a Metroid game. There's like they don't collude because like in Metroid, it's like the enemies are tough and like weird agile, and you're like trying to bounce around and catch them, but they're very sparingly. Or a lot of times you're just kind of platforming, moving around, and dodging enemies. Where in Castlevania, you're going in, you're getting bloody, you're like picking up a whole bunch of shit. Where in Metroid, you're picking up a little bit of things.
Yeah,
only
Metroid's more
improve
puzzle
you.
solving than
Yeah.
like way more than Castlevania is.
Yeah, Castlevania's like I'm getting in there, I'm gonna fight a bunch of bosses, I'm gonna beat the shit out of some things, and some rockin' music's gonna play.
I'm gonna
play
fight 100 enemies on each screen. You know. Like,
Yeah. And you play Metroid, you're gonna fight like a few enemies, and it's gonna be very sparing music of like very atmospheric, of like you're on a very desolate alien planet. And you're,
Alone.
like, yeah, and you're in some weird ruins of a dead civilization, and you're just trying to make it through to find whatever the fuck you're trying to get. And-
Where the fuck do I go next?
Yeah, what the fuck am I doing? And so like they're different to me.
One thing that it does that's like just a pet peeve of mine, which is just all over old games, is like I hate blocks that are destructible, but they just look like everything else.
Yeah, that is the most Metroid-ass Metroid thing.
I just hate that, like, inherently. Like, I don't think that's good design. Like, yes, you feel super smart, and, like, there are times when it does a great job of
I don't know if
pointing
he
you to
feels-
where those are.
I don't know if
Well,
you
no,
feel
you're right.
smart. You
Because
feel
I go into a
lucky.
room, and I just start shooting around everywhere, because, oh, there's
Yeah, you're like,
something's
I'm
fucking
lucky I found it.
destructible.
Move on. Like, I don't think you're smart.
I just don't like that. I don't think that's
Yeah,
good game
no,
design.
I don't like that.
And, like, so much of that game feels like that to me. It's like, oh, there's a secret everywhere, a secret in every room. I'm like, yeah, but it's just, like, it feels cheap, you know? It's like, oh, this block that looks indistinguishable from the rest of the ground is destructible, and here's an energy tank behind it, so fuck you for not finding it.
And so, like, when you get to the end of the game, you go into a room, drop a fusion bomb, and go, alright, there it was, and then you shoot
Yep.
it. You're like, yep.
You get those X-ray specs on, and you go, alright.
There it was the whole time. I think if anyone wants to play like a Metroid game that it feels newish, it still has invisible walls in some areas stuff, but like is different. Is Axiom Verge is a really really good Metroid take on game.
Yeah, that one was pretty popular when it came around.
Yeah, it's real wild, real weird, really weird.
One more stuff about Super Metroid. I love the sprites. That art still looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, that
I
game
think that
holds
game's
up.
beautiful. Like that game's beautiful, honestly.
Yeah,
Maybe like my favorite sprites on the Super Nintendo, honestly.
it is probably it's probably one of my favorite looking games when it came out, and still looks great to this day. I mean,
And a lot of the music's really good too.
I'm always sad that game like Metroid never picked up. So I think that game has such a cool and unique looking art style to it, and I wish that kind of stuff picked up more.
Favorite part of the game is the ghost ship, crash ship. That's my favorite part. I really like that area.
But
really
it sucks
because it's so short, and then you go right from there to Meridia, and it's just this is the worst part of the game, and I'm dealing with sinking in sand, and it's so bad.
It's fair.
Yeah. Like I was playing that game, I was like, I'm ready to be done. You know, I'm ready to beat Ridley and be done.
Yeah.
And then coming to the end, yeah, it's fine.
You just pump missiles into some dude. Just
yeah, a lot of missiles.
That's the boss fight strategy. Just take out ultra missiles.
Put on missiles. And then about the ending, I really like when you power up from that Metroid and just shoot these super fucking beams at this dinosaur brain lady. That was fun.
Yeah, the mother brain dinosaur thing.
Am I right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, no, you're totally on like point. Like no one really knows what the fuck the story of those games, like what they're called. I think it's like I can't believe if it's Mother Brain upgraded or like Metroid Brain. I think it's Mother Brain is what they call it.
So like Mother Brain was in Metroid, right?
Yeah, Mother Brain's the original Metroid. It's a really fucking hard boss fight, and I hate it.
Does Ridley like work for Mother Brain?
Yo, dog, there is like no actual like how any of that works. We have no idea.
Because it's cool that like having now played 2, that like Ridley's never like the enemy. He's just always like your 1-to-1 like rivalish kind of like antagonistic force. But he's never the mastermind final boss, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that a lot.
Yeah, he's just a space pirate. He just leads a bunch of space pirates.
But he's in every game and is always like the second to last boss. It seems like, which is cool.
Yeah, to me like he's like nothing, you know. Like he's not nothing. He's just like he's like a cool like you're like. Not boss, but what is it like that? Like your like your rival kind of character.
Yeah, he's like
I was looking for that.
I'm playing a Metroid game. There's gonna be Ridley in it.
It's Mother Brain. I was right. It was Mother Brain. Mother Brain has like, many incantations or something. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Whatever.
So like, what was Mother Brain doing? Like, what was the story of this game still? Because I don't know that I understand. Because the Metroid got stolen. It's the last Metroid. I got that. Samus killed them all in Metroid Returns. I knew that.
Yeah, and then he takes the baby Metroid with her at the end of Metroid 2.
Right, gives it to scientists, but then Ridley steals it. Ridley goes to this planet. I don't remember what it's called.
And Samus is going back to get it.
Right. So then why did Mother Brain have it, not Ridley?
Mother Brain wanted it. I don't know.
How'd she get it if she's in a jar?
I don't know.
And then what did she want?
Supposed to think.
What did she want to do? What was her end game?
Like, dog, I don't think anyone knows what the fuck the story of that game is, and like I don't think you're supposed to like actually really care.
Okay. Well,
is like legit. Like I think if people care about the plot of Metroid, they fucked up on liking what Metroid is.
Maybe.
Or like no,
it's a hard thing for me to ignore.
It's people like try to like make the plot of Metroid a really big thing. That's when you like mess up. So I'm like, I think the thing to me almost is like you drop in this weird world as you're following Ridley and you don't know what's going on, and then a bunch of just weird shit happens and it ends, and like that's kind of almost why I like it. Is like you just don't get it, and it's like I'm like, yep, that's fucked up, and you move on.
But I like learning the context. That's something I loved about Prime, is how much context there was in that game. And
that's
like you do get, yeah, and you get bits of context in Super Metroid. But I feel like, you beat Ridley, and it's like, okay, I get that the Metroid's not here. I know I have to go to this elevator thing. I understand that, but I want to know why. That's an important thing to me. That kind of context. I want to know what the stakes are. I want to know what this brain is thinking. Like, why is it doing this?
Why is the Mother Brain doing this?
Any reason. It's just like some kind of backstory of like why you exist. If I could have learned like what you're doing here, that would have been enough for me. But like I don't know why. I have no idea.
I think the Mother Brain is like the leader of the pirate horde, is like the actual, like I think they say that in Metroid Prime, is like that's like the actual end of it. It's like Mother Brain's the leader of the space pirates, like the brains behind the operation. Get it? And
okay.
That's like I think the actual thing. So like they're just working on, and then like if I think in Fusion everyone wants to try to make Metroids again because they'd make a great weapon. So probably taking all that into account, the Mother Brain won the baby Metroid so they can make a lot of Metroids to kill people.
And then the baby Metroid likes you because it thinks you're
Yeah.
its mommy.
Yeah, yeah,
And then it sacrifices itself for you in a really cool scene. It's a cool scene.
yeah. It's a good. All of it's very good. I don't think the story makes a lot of sense, but I don't think any SNES stories are hard to put together sometimes.
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger is actually one of the best stories.
Final Fantasy VI is the greatest antagonist of all time.
King Bannon. What is his name? Is it Bannon or something?
It's
I don't know.
It's Kefka.
No, I meant like the
Oh,
king
the
character.
Emperor Gestalt, right?
No, the king of the resistance guy. Trying to remember his name. That's my guy. I like him. He's a big old beard.
Oh, in 6? He probably
Yeah.
is Bannon. I think it is Bannon, actually.
I'm looking. What else have you been playing?
Doesn't he die?
Oh yeah, he totally like. I actually have no idea what happens to him.
I feel like the octopus joke
I wanna
villain
po-
with
I
no
wanna-
reason to exist kills him.
I feel really good that
Ultros.
I got it right that it was Bannon.
Man, Ultros is dumb and has no place in that game.
Okay, this is actually the canonical. It goes. Bannon eventually winds up in Vector to find it in flames, worried about the Espers had gone too far. What happens to Bannon after that is unknown, and it is possible he's either betrayed and killed by the Empire or died during the end of the world. The developer actually refused to call on his fate, with Sakaguchi saying, "Use
Thanks,
your
Sakaguchi.
imagination."
Thanks, Sakaguchi.
Just saying, "Fuck you."
His favorite's
Really?
9 anyway. It's whatever.
No.
Hey, have you played the 12
So
port yet?
I was gonna say, if you played, are you done with 3 games you played?
I got 2 more.
Okay,
They're
I was
quickies.
saying
They're
I
both
can just go
quickies.
into it. Hey, I've been playing 12.
Yeah, you liking it? I hear it's really good.
It's great. Yeah, the game's still fucking A+, so it's still A+.
Got a fast forward feature, which is my favorite feature
Yeah,
in
that's
video
it's
games.
amazing. That game is You can like walk around. It can take a while in the older game. Now you can just fucking zoom through the fucking world, yelling,
imagining
"It's
that in
me,
Xenoblade."
Captain von Rauschenberg," and then like throw your hands in the air because it's a literal thing you do in the game, which is super hilarious. Still. Because Vaughn's a fucking idiot. They've also changed the game completely from what it used to be, which is fun. It's the Japanese re-release they now brought to America pretty much, which was in the first game you had a gambit system or your license system. You just pretty much like would build your character tree out however you wanted to, and everyone started with like the same kind of license board. But like for a lot of people, and like when I played it, everyone would become the same character, so they'd be really good at being that one character, and then you wouldn't need these other characters. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everyone's a healer, everyone's a magician, everyone's a melee
So
boy.
you can just use 4 characters because you can do whatever you want.
So now everyone has a license, like there are 12 jobs, and then it goes into your license board. So once someone's a white mage, they are just a white mage. I think you unlock a second, then you have a second character class you can also unlock.
Oh, so they get locked into their job?
Yeah, so it's like you're a white mage, that is what you are. Then
shit.
how you build that out, where they become white mage is how, but they're a white mage now. And so, like, like Vaughn's a Shikari, and Bosch is a knight, and Balthier is a...
Dragoon!
I forget what his, like, thing... They're all... It's, like, 2, like, names for, like, ninjas, I believe. It's, like, Shikari and stuff, and I'm like, I don't fucking remember this.
He's
and
a
I
shinobi.
It might actually be Shinobi, and I might be mad that I forgot it was fucking Shinobi. Let me go fucking remember these goddamn stupid... I mean, it's gonna annoy me if I don't look it up, so... it's
Is there a red mage?
Knights... There's a red mage. Okay, there's like red mage, white mage, black mage, time mage, machinist, knight...
Blue mage?
Fucking foe breaker, archer...
The fuck's a foe breaker?
like, hurts people good.
Oh.
It's like
Okay.
I consider like it's just like a heavy class, like a heavy smack 'em up class, and they can like
Okay.
learn to throw bombs. It's pretty all right.
Like a heavy
Okay, it's
monkish
Bushi.
speed?
It's Bushi and Shikari.
it's
I'm sorry.
Bushi.
I'm
Oh, okay.
sorry, officer.
Bushi's better than Shinobi.
I think my Vaughn's a Bushi, Balthier's a Shikari, and then Balthier's Shikari, and then what the fuck?
Balthier's the
Bosch.
good character.
Balthier's a great character. Bosch is knight. Franz Frohbreaker, and then if I get Pinello back, she's my white mage, and if I get Ash, she'll probably be my black mage.
Is Fran the sexy Chewbacca?
Yes, and it's
Okay.
really it's like the worst character design ever, maybe. Like it's awful every time I look at it. I'm like, this is really bad. Because like everyone else is dressed like weird Final Fantasy, and like even in some places almost more understandably like they look this way, but I think it looks fine. She's like, what if I was a sexy bunny? And I'm like, this is weird. And gross and like creeps me out to this day, and you're out of the party. And like that's how that works.
Everyone really likes Balthier. That's my understanding of 12.
Balthier, because he is so well written as what if we made like Han Solo? Because that game's like that game's
Star
straight
Wars.
up like
It's a New
Star
Hope.
Wars. Wait, what's
I
up?
guess it's The Force Awakens now, right? Yeah.
Oh no, it's not Force. It's Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Force
It's like
Awakens is the
two
newest
games
one.
mashed together with weird protagonists, but Balthier's the good character.
The game like wasn't like the guy who was writing it left halfway, so they like fucking figure out how to finish it. So they just introduced Vaughn out of nowhere. He doesn't really have anything to do with the game. He I think he's fine still, but like it has weird like Star Wars music-y beats. But I actually really like the world of this game. It's set in the
Tactics world.
In the tactics world, but like you can see where it's set in the tactics world, but so far ahead in the past or future, I cannot remember. That like whatever, who cares if it's past
Probably
or future?
future. If I
Probably
haven't played
future.
out a
Who
game, but
fucking?
probably.
This is Final Fantasy we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Did you fight Gilgamesh yet?
No, I barely played it. I've gotten like mediocre. I've gotten like a few hours in, but I've been busy with other stuff. But
Okay.
it's just It's just such a great game, such a fun world to be in, such good music, and I still like the combat in that game of being like fucking around with gambits is so much fun still. Of like getting your gambit set correctly is good.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy you found happiness.
Yeah, and then so I realized my old strategy guide doesn't work, and I bought the new Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age strategy guide while I was at
Jesus.
GameStop talking to my friend. But thank God I know people at GameStop, so they just gave me the discount for buying it like with the game, you know.
I
it's just-
wonder. Do you think they still sell Final Fantasy X strategy books?
all I know is at my GameStop they still had the original Final Fantasy XII strategy guide, so I got it for literally $1.
Oh, that's pretty
And
sweet.
it was in plastic.
Damn.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was like, fuck yeah, I'll play Final Fantasy XII again. And then I went home and played Final Fantasy XII again with the strategy guide out like I was a dungeon master. It was great.
On 10 times speed.
Oh, no, it's original. So
Oh shit. Okay.
I was playing on my computer, so I had like music on in the background. I was watching Giant Bomb, so I was fine. But that was that. What have you been playing else? That's just good. If you want to play Final Fantasy XII again, I'd recommend anyone to play that game. It's fantastic. If you want to, I think it's a great Final Fantasy game. I think people should really give that game a shot.
That's the one you like.
I like
Besides 4.
I like a fair amount of Final Fantasy. That's one I love. Like I love 4
Okay,
and
okay.
that one.
Okay.
Like I like
I need
6.
to get back
I
to
like
4.
I'm not great with 7, but I'm okay with it. I like 9
And of course 10, the best.
and then 10, which is a game I'm like always up and down on, which is most of the time actually down, I've realized. But 10 too. I'm just kidding. All right.
I hate 10 too.
Everyone does.
No, it's not true.
Who likes 10 too?
A lot of people.
That's wild. As I played like an hour of that game, was like, nope.
People say that's the best playing Final Fantasy game. Fun
That's
fact.
the best themed Final Fantasy game, maybe, which is like, what if we made Charlie's Angels in the Final Fantasy X world? And I'm like, all right.
All you need to know is ATB is trash, and then we're done.
Then we're
done.
That's why we have
We're
like
done.
active time dimensions, which is like I think what they called this one or something, which is like
Oh, jeez.
you're just fucking running around the real world while also a bar is filling up. It's amazing.
I'm like thinking, what if you could play Xenoblade Chronicles with like that speed up function?
Oh my god.
Dude, I would start that new game plus.
It's just add every game a speed up function is all I'm learning.
Honestly, that'd be kind of nice. We're learning about ourselves here. All right, my quickies here. I kind of have two. So like, I got Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey when I got Super Metroid at the store. That was a
I'm-
sweet find. I got that super cheap, brand new in box. So that was
That's
rad.
good.
Someone traded in like 13 copies of it,
That's nice.
just in box. So I
That's
picked it up for
fucking
like
good.
$40.
That ain't bad.
That was a steal, yeah. It's really good. I'm only like an hour or two in. I just got Demon Fusion, so I'm pretty much out of like the introduction. It's letting me go now, letting me explore in the deeper levels.
Okay.
It's really, really cool, like really rad science fiction. Because I forget Shin Megami Tensei is a science fiction franchise sometimes.
Yeah, I like it when they experiment less in the fantasy and more in like, what if there was demons and also we were in space?
Yeah, this one's like you're in the Schwarzwelt, which is this I don't know if it's a real concept, but they like cite some German scientist who like created the idea of like once humanity gets like overpopulated on the Earth, that it will just have this like defense mechanism where it just cleanses itself basically. So it's this like void that just opens in the South Pole and it's just slowly expanding.
That's pretty
And
cool.
there's all this like crazy fucking sci-fi between like your Demonica suits, which of course you use to talk to demons later on, and then like these crazy fucking arc ships that look like they're out of like Halo or something as like an elephant, and they just like jump and they fly over this like photon wall that disintegrates atoms if you touch it, so they have to go over it, and they have these plasma shields. It's like really fun sci-fi with all the demon shit, and I love it.
I might argue that it's not sci-fi and still fantasy, just not in a moderner setting.
Yeah, I mean totally, but like they
Yeah.
do a lot of really cool techie stuff, and it's all framed
Yeah.
in this really cool technology aspect. You're downloading like demon OSs.
That's pretty
It's
good.
it's good. It's a lot of fun. It's a great Shin Megami Tensei game. So I'll get back to you when I play more of that. Hopefully
Gotcha.
Zelda doesn't take me away because I want to finish Zelda and then just get back to that.
I
Hopefully
want to.
I
I'm
might
probably
have
just
pretty
gonna
hard.
wait for the remaster, whatever version's coming out, the remake.
Yes,
much.
I wanted to get this one in because I've been wanting to play it forever, and I want to play the originals before I play my remakes of just
Yeah.
every game. So.
Gotcha.
And then my other one, which I've been playing through real hard right now, is Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which is still my favorite game of all time. Every time I play that game, I still fall in love with it, like, all over again.
Well, that's
In
good.
kind of amazing ways, actually. Like, I still find myself sitting here, I just, like, laugh, and I, like, appreciate new things. Like I was saying, I appreciate Hades again. Like, there's just this amazing moments, and ways they leverage those IPs. Just the stuff they do, I think the dialogue is just so super tight. Like, all the animations are fantastic. I've been, like, playing a little bit differently than I usually play, like, getting a little heavier involved with magic, and it's, like, super viable in this game, unlike the first game. I love it, man. I'm
So
having a
magic
good time.
wasn't even viable in the first game.
Not really. Like, you couldn't really mainline it, because you would just run out of it, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
This way, your magic auto-reloads. Like, it's basically, you use it all up, and then it turns purple, and it has to refill.
Oh, okay, so it's like you enter like a lock state, and then it's like, all right, now you're gonna go again.
Exactly. And, like, using Cure, no matter what your magic is, it just uses all of it.
Oh, okay, that's a good way to counter what I was doing, which was just popping cure whenever I got hit and moving on.
Exactly. Yeah.
And hopefully the combat's actually. I mean, from what I hear, Kingdom Hearts 2, the combat's way better, so like it's like actually like fits around that idea better. Where like in the first game, like you had to use cure that much times because like that's how that game worked.
Yeah, this game, it's all about, like, you don't want to use Cure, because like, when you use Cure, you're vulnerable, because you can't use the OP spell of, like, Reflect, which is how you basically guard. Because if you use Real Guard, it's not a 360 guard. So, like, when you're out of mana, like, you're in danger. You're trying to avoid it. Like, you can go in and get greedy, but, like, then you're kind of screwed. So you have to play a little bit defensively while you wait for your mana to come back,
Gotcha.
especially in boss fights.
Especially in the
love
boss fights. Fight the Organization 13 enemies,
Oh, they're so good. I love them.
which I know
Yeah.
nothing else about other than their name because we played that one time on when we did the 24-hour thing.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was fun.
I'm still so mad that didn't work.
We couldn't get Symphony of the Night working, couldn't get Metal Gear Solid. Oh.
I think it's literally I have come to the conclusion after all my testing of all my stuff over and over again when I was home it was just the pass-through we were using.
Maybe next time.
I
Maybe
think,
we'll
I have to buy just a better pass-through if we want to get that to work. I'd have to like actually sit down and like have time to let me test it and have to buy a better pass-through.
We'll just play Metal Gear on the show. We'll just do it.
Yeah. I mean, well, the thing is, if you do that on the show, I still have to find a better pass-through.
I know. I'm just saying there's a chance for redemption.
Oh, I think like we could totally do it. We could also just do it as like a segment to get just Peter to play it.
Yeah, that too.
But
have
like
options.
I need to buy a pass-through. Is like probably what I actually need to do, and then fuck around with that, which is gonna cost a pretty penny probably. So
Now,
You know.
I think you got one more game to talk about, right?
I've been playing a few games, so
Oh, wow,
I
okay.
can talk about a few things real quickly. Back into Darkest Dungeon
Oh, wow.
because the new DLC just got released for it, which is some free DLC, which is the Crimson Court DLC. DLC,
Didn't even hear about
DLC.
this.
Dark Dungeon has not stopped. They will not stop. Please stop. Make a new game. Dark Dungeon is still great. It's fantastic. It's still on my Game of the Year list. Still one of my Game of the Years from last year. It's great. The game's like fantastic. Go buy it. Just play some more Darkest Dungeon. If you think it's gonna be too hard, it will be too hard. It's very difficult. You will fail a lot. That's actually the whole point of the game. Is sometimes things don't work out. That's the whole point. I could talk about why I like the theming of that game a lot, which is like you play XCOM, and in XCOM you name a character after your friend, and when he dies, you reload the save. And in Dark, this is like an analogy I'm using from someone else.
Right.
Analogy from I think it's one of H Bomber guy's videos. He's very good video game critiquist. Not my favorite, but he's up there. And he says in XCOM you name a guy someone, and you'll always reload your saves to keep him alive. In Darkest Dungeon, this is the 5th guy you've named Joe, and he has died for the 5th time. You're gonna get the next guy and call him Joe again, because this game makes you an inhuman monster, and you realize at the end of the day that you're just killing all your friends over and over again, hopefully to get to the end. Like, you become the darkness that is coming out of that dungeon. It's a very good how that game feels and makes you feel is like you won't reload that save over and over again, like, because you just realize it's so futile to like constantly leave and come back. It's like shit just goes wrong 1,000 different ways in that game, and your friend,
you just have to accept it.
You have to accept that you have to treat this life as nothing almost. Like, you're gonna get someone and go, this person sucks, get rid of them, fire them, or this person is actually has broken from stress, is drinking too much, and I'm taking him out on a mission. And like, it's kind of amazing how that game makes you feel like also like a monster, like you're like, and the whole game's revolved around like your actual ancestor was a huge monster who you're talking to, and you're becoming like him as you try to fight this like ever encroaching eldritch darkness. It's really good. Like, theming wise, it's fantastic, and really well done, and also just a really fun RPG game. It's all turn-based, baby. It's very good.
Stop making me play more games, Chase.
Dark Sun is fantastic. It's just so clean, and I think that game you can pick up at any time. I would recommend not playing it on the PS4. I've been playing on the PS4 a little bit. It's not up to date as the PC version. I don't think it controls as well as the PC version. I think the PC version is just superior.
Yeah, that reads like a PC game to me.
Yeah, as I'll say with most games, you can put it on a PC and probably be a little better. But this game actually just control-wise works way better on a PC, and I like more. Then I've also been playing, and I just started, Nier Automata.
This is the one I want to hear about, and by that I mean I don't want to hear about.
You haven't played any of Nier, right? I'm guessing then.
I have it sitting on my shelf. That is my back-to-school game.
I've played the first couple hours, I think. I played like 2 hours in. I know from what everyone's told me, the story doesn't pick up till the second part or the third part, really. The story.
Well, you need to get invested by the characters, is my understanding.
No. Like, the story itself doesn't get interesting. Like, it doesn't like subvert what it needs to, like, or go as crazy as he does. It takes him a while to get there. That is just how he is. Okay. That's just how his storytelling has always been. It just takes a while for it to get as crazy. It's what Taro do.
Taro do.
I heard the second act and third act really get there. The first act's a little blasé, and I can feel the blaséness, but there's some really, really, really cool moments already that I'm like, and not moments of like, he fought the robot and ripped its arm off and threw it back at him, which is in the demo.
Metal Gear Rising scene.
Yeah, it's like this. I don't want to spoil the scene because it's so weird and so crazy.
Is it something you watch or something you do?
It's something you watch. Like, you cutscene will happens in it, and then like you can also walk in the cutscene kind of like afterwards and just kind of walk around in it, and it's pretty cool. I like that game so far, and the music's fantastic. The combat seems pretty simplistic, maybe even to the point of not being that great of combat. But I'm gonna keep playing it.
You still got your little like shooty guy, like with
you got a little gun bot.
That was always really weird to me, was having that with the like sword.
Yeah, you can just like lock on and just shoot a gun while swinging your sword at an enemy.
Yeah.
Gun doesn't do anything. Like, it doesn't stagger enemies or anything. It just gets rid of projectiles or just does like a little bit of damage.
Tiny chip damage, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do that much tiny chip damage. It can do like a fuck ton of damage if it goes in.
Oh, really?
It's like, it just holds on. It just does like 8 damage, like, consistently. And you'll see it pop up, and like, your sword will do like 26 on a hit.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so like, it can actually like blast through. It still takes a while, but it's like you're swinging your sword really quickly and have multiple hits to it.
You shoot somebody else while you're cutting up somebody.
Yeah, it can get pretty fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna play some more of it after we finish this up and wrap this up. As I'm gonna start cooking chicken, and I'm gonna start rendering this and play some Nier.
Great. Yeah, looking forward to us talking about Nier in the near future. Oh yeah, last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
For whatever reason, I needed to de-stress, so I called up some friends. We've been playing Minecraft again.
Oh my god, Minecraft.
I'm not even kidding. I was like, man, I want to play Minecraft on the Switch. And he's like, just play on the computer. I was like, alright.
Yeah, I mean, like get some mods on there. I don't like Minecraft, so why did you get back in? Do you like Minecraft a lot?
Yeah, I think it's like really fun with friends, like any game. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think it's like a really cool creative thing to it. It's just like this really nice de-stressor when I come home from work and I can just like chill out. That's kind of what it's been.
I can give you a little recommendation for a game kind of like that. Have you heard? You've heard of Factorio, right?
No, I never heard of it.
Give Factorio a look. It's kind of in the same vein, but more of like how do you make a production line as like as much of a production line, like the most like optimized production line of all time. That game is like amazingly relaxing to me, and like also really weird and hard, but like really strange, and like you're like, all right, I got the copper ore out to do this, so it can do that, so it can do this, and then now I can like make this go into that, and it just becomes like a whole like web of like construction in a really quick and weird way. I remember playing that game for like 10 hours and going, oh shit, time is gone, disappeared right now.
Yeah. What I was more thinking about is I was like, what if I just got Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 again?
Oh
We
shoot,
just
yeah.
went down that rabbit
What
hole.
if I went down the fucking rabbit hole Roller Coaster Tycoon?
That game's a 10.
Yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon's fantastic. It's a fun game. I think I'm
Alright.
actually out of all the games I've played
That's all I got.
recently. I'm like trying to think. I like bounced around a lot on games. Was kind of messing around. I played some. Oh, I played. I bought Killzone, the Killzone game, Shadowfall for like the
that
PS4
one.
original.
The launch game, yeah.
Yeah, that game was like meh, and then I stopped playing it.
Yeah, that game was getting like straight 7s, I think.
Yeah, I
Six
don't
and
think it's even
sevens.
worth that much. It has like one cool idea, and then it's a very much a launch game. It's very
That's
pretty, very
Same
pretty.
studio that made Horizon.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah. You're wondering like how they like got through like being like now you can make your own game. They're like fucking finally.
Yeah, what a crazy twist for them to come out with Horizon after all that.
Yeah. Horizon's great. I'd also recommend playing that sometime, Joe. I don't know if that'll peak above a lot of things, but I think it's just a good game.
I'm gonna get to Horizon. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
sure of that.
You didn't play Resident Evil 7 yet, did you?
No, I'm probably not gonna get to that one.
You're not gonna play
Do-
Resident Evil 7 at all?
Do you think? Well, not this year.
Okay, that's on my game of the year list. That's just gonna be there.
Is it really? Okay.
I
have-
think it's how good that game turned out to be and how different it is than any Resident Evil game, but still like retaining the feel of like original Resident Evil is probably one of the coolest things ever.
I've got some plans for running the show's Game of the Year podcast this year
Okay.
that I think will turn out. Hopefully, will be better than it's been. But we'll get into that another
We'll
time.
get into that. Let's call it a day. We're tired. I gotta make food, and I realize I can't make the chicken I want to make tonight right now because it takes 4 hours to cook. It's gonna be 6 o'clock when I do that.
Yeah, man. I let the crock pot just go all day. That's what I do.
I should have, but then like I was like playing Nier and working on some things like, oh, okay, this will run shortish, or like I was like just doing a bunch of stuff today. Like I was cleaning like crazy, so I just sat down to relax, and time has disappeared. Kind of what happened. So
What
I'll go
happens.
get some food and then probably make the chicken tomorrow, which is fine. I have it in the refrigerator. It's only been there for a day, so it's whatever.
Then let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's call it a day. This has been The Objective Perspective. I'm Chase,
I'm Joe.
and have a good one, everyone. I'm tired.
Good night.
Night.
I was doing so good. Been a long time since I felt this way. But you cracked that shell. Only time will tell, so I'll wash my hands of it. That mess of presence makes me nervous, and I don't deserve this. What could I do? You didn't ask for this, so I'll wash my hands of it. I was doing so good.